What do you think in terms of like, so as like a holistic health practitioner, have you ever I'm sure you have, but like, what has it been like taking someone who was in like a pretty bad state, physically, emotionally, mentally, all that stuff, and like really transforming them from like the, if they had like, say they had like indigestion, back pain, anxiety, like how like what I guess what I'm trying to ask you is like, what is it like to transform somebody like that? And B, like, are there some people that's just like, there's nothing you can do, or like,
there's always something you can do, but it just depends on how motivated the person is to heal and to grow. I created the term the pain teacher. So when the pain teacher shows up in your life, it's a good idea to be a good student. So the first thing I identify is, what are you willing to heal for and grow for, that you're inspired enough to do the work to heal and grow? Because if I don't identify a dream bigger than your crisis, then you'll become so accustomed to your crisis, then you'll just turn yourself into someone who's taking drugs and seeing doctors for the rest of your life, and that's exactly what they want.
Yeah. So you're saying that's kind of the first area you go into is like, what are you doing? Like, what's your point? Like, what's your purpose?
Well, I ask, what is your dream for yourself? Why do you want to heal? What are you going to do with yourself? I have to have something that inspires and motivates them, because it's very, very rare that I can rehabilitate somebody that doesn't have to make changes in their diet and their lifestyle and their beliefs and the behaviors that led to the problem.
What percentage of people you deal with have like zero overarching dream to their life, or just kind of going through the motions?
I would say probably about 85 to 90% of people really don't know what they're doing in their life other than making money to try to survive.
Yeah.
And so that's a real big part of the therapy, is helping them get clear on what's meaningful to them and what fills their heart, what gives them a sense of purpose beyond just existing.
Yeah, I think that checks out. I call it the drift. Whenever I get caught up in just the day-to-day bullshit of just like, like am I selling tickets for stand-up, am I this and that, and I have no overarching purpose of like, what am I doing? Who am I doing it for? What is the point of my existence? Am I actually helping anybody, or am I just fucking pumping resources into myself like unconsciously and thoughtlessly?
That's called flatland.
Flatland, yeah. I spent a lot of time there myself. And that's how I found you. I was on YouTube just finding like workouts and this and that, and I'd be like, oh, that's kind of a cool workout. Then I'd watch you talk, and I was like, damn, this guy knows a lot about kind of a lot of shit. So how did you get into that? Because you were a paratrooper?
I was a paratrooper in the 82nd Airborne Division, yeah.
And then you got into motocross racing?
I was racing motocross when I was a young man before I became a paratrooper. So
that was first.
And I was a competitive fighter. I was a boxer and a kickboxer, and I played a lot of sports. But I fought my way onto the Army boxing team while I was in the 82nd Airborne Division, and then I became the trainer of the Army boxing team.
Oh, okay.
And the team doctor was an osteopathic physician, so I was put in charge of nutrition. I was put in charge of designing and developing all the training programs for the fighters, and I took them all through them personally. I didn't just write shit on the board. I did everything with them. I was also in charge of managing the gym, and I represented the Army in triathlon at the same time. First, I was a fighter on the boxing team, but I was also representing the Army in triathlon. And my company commander said, hey, I'm going to bet a lot of money on you to win the Army triathlon. So if you want to stop boxing so you can train full-time for triathlon, I'll let you do it. You just got to win. And I knew that I wasn't going to turn pro because my fighting style is too aggressive. And I already had lots of guys on the boxing team that showed a lot of signs of brain injury already as early as 19 and 20 years of age.
You're saying like from the damage you were inflicting, or you're saying just in general, just getting knocked around so much?
No, just, a lot of the guys on the team had 300 plus fights.
Oh God.
They started boxing, most of them when they were around 8 years old.
Jesus.
These are like the best fighters in the world. The only teams that ever beat us was Cuba and Russia. We're the third ranked amateur boxing team in the world.
Jesus.
So it's very serious.
Okay. So, it wasn't just like pounding around. Like you guys were like doing heavy competitive
hardcore.
boxing.
We trained 6.5, 7 hours a day.
Damn.
And, traveled all over, our teams travel all over the world competing. And it's a big recruitment tool for the military.
Okay.
Army sports is quite big.
That actually makes sense.
And so my team doctor was an osteopath. So once I left, I told the coaches I was going to leave and train full-time for triathlon. They already knew that I knew a lot that they didn't know, because they've always been stunned the fact that I could, get up earlier than they did, run 6 to 10 miles a day, go swimming in the pool for an hour while they're eating lunch. And then after work, I'd go ride 25 to 60 miles at night. And while I'm a fighter on the team, I'm also competing in triathlon. And they're like, how in the hell do you do this? And
how did you do? That's insane.
Well, I was raised on a farm,
Okay.
a big farm, 142-acre farm by a very, very intense father who did not know what a child was and worked us like slaves in a concentration camp.
Yeah.
And as I said to the guys in the last podcast, if you want to know what real fitness is, let me hand you an axe and let you split firewood for about 8 hours straight. And when your hands are covered in blisters and your father doesn't give a shit, you'll know what real fitness is.
Jesus Christ. So you had like, this was like nothing to you then to be that active and move around.
It wasn't that it was like nothing. I had to train extremely hard. You know, I was competing at a very high level in triathlon. I was in the top 10 overall, even with the pros, in 6 USTS races, which is, you know, that's the full blown
that's intense.
elite triathlon. That's the real triathlon organization. And I was, you know, a ranked fighter, and I was I did very well in motocross, and so it was really just that my father built such a strong work ethic into me and to all of my siblings that it wasn't out of character for me to realize how hard I had to work, and I don't like losing. So I just took the work ethic that was built into me from the farm and just applied that to something I wanted to do instead of something I was being told to do, and that was very freeing.
Hey, that's kind of nice. And I guess the farm gives people like a sun up to sundown mentality. You're not kind of like, well, I'm clocking up. It's like as soon as the sun's up, you got to get out.
You're at it. Yeah. My father's rule was you feed and water the animals before you eat, and if I ever catch you eating or drinking anything before those animals are taken care of, you'll never forget it, and he meant it.
Yeah, I guess he would just dole out some punishment.
He could dole it out.
So you got out of there. I guess that makes sense. You're doing motocross in the military. So how did you like start absorbing kind of like health and holistic nutrition stuff? Like
my mother was a yogi. She became a yogi when I was 12. She'd been to India 3 times for advanced initiation. So my mother joined the Self-Realization Fellowship, which is the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda, which is already quite holistic. And my mother was already just naturally into holistic everything. You know, we raised our own food. We slaughtered our own animals. We pretty much could live off of our farm. We milked our own cows, made our own butter, our own cheese, our own ice cream, our own bread. So I lived a very ground up life. And I also was very aware when I was young, competing in athletics, that whenever the guys that come from the area where I come from out in the country played city teams, we destroyed them. Yeah. And so it was easy for me to see the difference between the guys that came off of farms, like on football and on hockey. They were just a lot tougher, and they could take a lot more beating. So I already had an early, the handwriting was on the wall that if you eat too many Cheez-Its and drink too much soda pop and sit around, then you don't have the right stuff to be a good athlete.
Yeah, so what would you, if someone is going from like that state of like the standard, like Cheez-Its, you know, all that stuff, if like say that starting at 0, like total inactivity, terrible diet, like what would you tell people to do if you had to give them like 4, I don't know if this is like an annoying question, but like
no, you ask me,
how do people get started? Like if like you want to give someone like a very basic thing to like start yourself to being actually like healthy and all that.
Well, after many, many years as a therapist and a specialist in conditioning and a guy that's worked with countless of the best athletes in the world, I synthesized what one must understand in order to be successful in any kind of endeavor, whether it be to just be healthy so that you don't have to deal with pain all the time, or to play with your grandkids, or to, you know, be able to hike to the top of your favorite mountain, or to win a gold medal. And basically I broke it down to 4 key areas that we have to have conscious awareness of, which I call the 4 doctors. And the reason I call them that is because if you spend time with these 4 doctors, you don't need the ones that give you drugs and do surgery.
Yeah.
The first one, and that's the most important, is Dr. Happiness. So first you have to be conscious about what is happy making for you, be committed to doing it regularly enough that you don't need to turn to drugs or depend on other people to make you happy, because that leads to a lot of relationship problems and health problems and codependencies. And Dr. Happy is also the aspect of your psyche that you must be clear on what your dream goal or objective for your life is at any given time. And once you're clear on what your dream goal or objective for your life is, then you have to establish clear values so you know when to say yes and when to say no. Because if you have no values, you never know when to say no. And so you'll eat, you know, whatever someone sticks in front of you, or drink whatever someone sticks in front of you. And next thing you know, you feel like shit and you look just as bad.
Yeah.
So the values you've got to set have to do with the other 3 doctors. First, you have to establish, what am I going to do that's happy making regularly So you know what you're doing. Like some people like to play guitar. Some people like to read books. Some people like to watch movies. Some people like to go hiking. Some people like a mix of all those. But if you don't build that into your schedule, then you wake up one day, 5 years have gone by, and your whole family's addicted. You feel like shit, and you go, what happened? Then you have to be clear on what your movement needs are. So Dr. Movement first says, what do I need to have baseline health? Right? So you don't have to be an athlete, but you need to do at least 30 to 60 minutes of exercise a day, depending on the intensity and the type of exercise, which we could just call movement, right? So even if it's walking, I would tell people if you're just going to walk, I would recommend you build yourself up to an hour a day, or you're going to end up being sedentary because you got to deal with the force of gravity. And gravity is enough to wear a sedentary person out. I've met many people that got winded just walking up a flight of stairs. In fact, I found a research study once saying that 50% of people seeing medical doctors hit their lactate threshold walking from the waiting room to the examination room.
Damn, so they're getting like a burning pain in their legs.
They're getting what you would get after a set of heavy squats, where you feel like the last couple of reps are hard to get out.
Yeah.
They're getting that halfway to the doctor's examination room. That's 50% of people.
Damn, that's crazy.
So first you got to use movement to create baseline health. And there's just the list of benefits of movement I could sit here and talk for hours on, mentally, emotionally, physically, hormonally, things like enhanced circulation, enhanced digestion, enhanced metabolism, enhanced mood. The benefits of movement are too many to list, and there's tons and tons of science on it. So then once you know what your dream, say your dream is to, let's say you're a park ranger, but you started, like you said, eating garbage and not knowing any better. Once you've got baseline health, then I would say, okay, well, how fit do you need to be to do your work, climbing mountains, potentially having to rescue people, carrying equipment around, building trails, doing the things a park ranger does. And then I would say, okay, now you got to build yourself up. I like to see my goal with all my athletes that I train and all the patients I work with is to build you up to 30% higher of a physical capacity than the demands of your work, sports, or play environment.
Gotcha.
That way you have enough reserve that if you're tired or if you are having to deal with a crisis or, you get a surprise, like say the park ranger is dealing with extremely heavy snow and someone gets caught out there and they're out on a 24-hour hunt to find someone, you need the reserves. Life always throws you curveballs, you know that.
Yeah.
So my goal as a therapist is always to identify what level of fitness they need, say a professional hockey player, and say, now I'm going to build you up so you're 30% beyond that.
Yeah.
Which means you're extremely fit. If
Yeah,
you're
that's
a pro
pretty
hockey
crazy.
player.
Yeah.
But that is bulletproofing, right? That way you're safe. Then you've got to look at Dr. Diet. The old saying, you are what you eat is very true, but there's another one that's just as true. You are what you don't excrete.
Yeah.
So the more toxins you accumulate in your body, the more poisoned you get, the more out of balance your physiology is, and the more complications you have, and the more you invite things like fungal infections and parasite infections and a lot of health degenerating things. And first it starts off as fatigue, then it becomes illnesses, often minor illnesses, then major ones, then diseases, then death. So you can tell where someone's at by just looking at that stage of progression. First you get tired, then you start having colds and flus, then you start having stuff that a doctor would call a disease like diabetes, then you die.
Damn.
And
so basically just move around, know what you're up to, and eat good food.
you got to eat high quality food, which means it's got to be certified organic or it's covered with farming chemicals, which will poison you and kill you slowly.
So what do you think about people who have, like, I've noticed a certain type of machismo around organic produce where they go, I'm paying for the same fucking thing.
Well, there's a lot of, most people don't really have enough knowledge to be even intelligent in making a decision like that, sadly. There is a real problem because a lot of the major corporations such as Pepsi, Coke, Cadbury, Snickers, and many others that you would never expect own organic certifications.
Yeah.
But they also own large farms that produce commercial food. So what they do to buck the system is they actually do research. They fund university agricultural programs as well. So what they'll do is they'll take their commercially grown chemical-laden poison, they'll do research on it to analyze the nutritional values of it. Then they'll send in organic food under a different label, never telling you they own that label. And it's grown on the same burnt out soils, but without the chemicals added. And they say, look, there's no nutritional difference. And so they've been trying to wipe out the organic concept for years because they don't want to have to compete in a market that requires them to manage the soils properly because it's slower and it's more expensive. And it actually is respectful of nature. What a concept. So a lot of people have gotten this false conception that organic is no better, or they make excuses like, oh, there's so much toxins in the air, or there's overspray from chemicals. And I say, well, there's a scale of toxicity. Yeah. If you're getting an organic farm, yeah, there might be some overspray or some mild, chemtrails hitting your food, but it's still on a scale of toxicity, a lot less stressful on your body. So the thing is that you can't really rely on organic certifications because almost all of these, there's over 100 of them now, and only about 2 or 3 of them are actually legitimate.
So what about like Whole Foods produce, like anything?
Whole Foods started off good, but now it's just a corporate whore.
Yeah.
So there's another example of a place that once had good ideas, as is often the case. Just like religions, they start off with good intentions and become brainwashing machines.
Yeah.
Right? And as the world goes. And so the thing to do is go to farmers markets, and the real organic certifications are not only expensive, but to get a real organic certification, the organization sends a soil scientist to your property. They analyze your soil to see if there's mineral imbalances in it and if there's any chemicals in it that are dangerous. Then you have to go through a 2-year gestation period where they will, as part of the fee, they will help you balance the soils, get the microorganisms healthy, and the microorganisms will catabolize the chemicals in the soil. But it usually takes about 2 years for microorganisms to clean the soil. And only then can you get certified once they retest your soil. So most of these corporations will not go through that process.
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of farmers won't either because they don't have the money. A lot of farmers are barely making it. So, if you pay $15,000 a year for an organic certification, but you're only making $20,000 a year after you've made your expenses. So the point I'm making is if you go to farmers markets and just ask, do you farm organically? Do you use any chemicals on this food? Most of them will say no.
Yeah.
The other thing is you can taste the difference.
Yeah.
You can taste the difference. If you eat real organic food and compare it to non-organic food, it's the difference between eating a styrofoam cup and real food.
It's kind of depressing. My brother grows a lot of food himself. He doesn't have a farm. He just kind of like loves gardening and stuff.
Good.
And having a potato like from the store versus or having his potato versus one from the store, it's like depressing.
Absolutely.
You eat it and you're like, oh, fuck, this is what this tastes like?
You're just eating empty shell of a living organism.
Yeah, that's terrible.
So the two key things, there's 3 key things. One, you have to be adequately hydrated with high quality water. In my book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy, you have right there. I tell you what high quality water is, how to find it, and how to assess it from pH to mineral density and things like that. Total dissolved solids is what it's called. But once you're eating high quality food, then you have to eat the right proportions based on what your body's needs are. There's no such thing as a diet that works for any number of people. That's absolute bullshit. Every one of us is as different on the inside as we are on the outside. And just like we all have different fingerprints, we all have different needs. Even within the same family, you can see wildly different needs for food. You can have, in the same family, you can have someone sitting at one end of the table that does fine on almost a vegetarian diet, and on the other end, you've got a total carnivore. Why? One might be an athlete. One might have parasites and fungal infection and have totally different biochemistry. One may have a completely different psychological profile and internalizes all their stress and therefore needs different nutrition because they're constantly stressing themselves out with stinking thinking.
Yeah.
So if I listed all the things that can change what your macronutrient and micronutrient needs are, it would take hours.
So it's not like MyFitnessPal, click 2,000, like, yep, that's me. So you got to really kind of get in.
No, you got to pay attention, but your body's always telling you when you're eating right.
Yeah. What do you think about is not eating till you're hungry?
Well, there's no sense eating if you're not hungry.
I do it all the time though. I get in that thing where I'm like, it's lunchtime. I have to eat right now, and I eat, and I'm like, I'm stuffed, and I feel like gross.
Well, you shouldn't eat if you're not hungry, but generally most people need 3 meals a day unless they're sedentary.
Okay.
Or unless they're drinking things like caffeine or smoking cigarettes, because those can have an appetite suppressing effect. So, and medical drugs can do that as well. But if a person's healthy, breakfast should be your biggest meal of the day, because breakfast, the breakfast you eat has the most effect on stimulating your metabolism. That's been shown in research. It's especially important for women. For example, when you diet, research shows like if you start skipping meals, your body increases lipogenic enzymes which store fat. So the more you diet, the more your body tries to store fat because it thinks you're going into a famine period, so it's trying to protect you. If you eat 3 meals a day, or you eat enough that your body's not hungry and your body's not thinking, oh my God, we're running out of resources, you'll generate lipolytic enzymes, which break fat down more efficiently.
Okay.
So the general rule of thumb, there's a lady named Deborah Waterhouse that wrote a whole book on this. The general rule of thumb is breakfast should be your biggest meal of the day because it has the greatest effect on stimulating your metabolism. Ideally, most people find they need to eat about every 4 hours, but the difference is if you're not hungry, well, don't eat.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to overload the system. It takes 55%, approximately 55%, it's somewhere between 52 and 55% of all the calories you eat just to run the machinery of digestion to get the food from mouth to anus. So my point is, if you're just eating to eat and you're not hungry, you're spending a ton of energy and resources just to run it from mouth to anus.
Yeah.
So think of it like the cost of running a factory. So you've got to pay that price before you have nutrition that you can put into reserve, that you can use to play tennis, to chop firewood, to go to work, to run your brain.
Yeah.
And so when you realize how costly it is, and this is one of the reasons why it's very bad to eat too close to bedtime, because your organs and glands are working all night long, so you actually never get to rest your internal systems. So you can wake up feeling tired because you never got to rest the inner side of yourself, and there's more on the inside than there is on the outside, pretty much, So
what would you, just real quick, what would you say before bedtime, like 4 hours before you go to sleep? Stop eating, or like?
I would recommend not eating more than 2 hours, closer than 2 hours
Okay.
before bedtime. You should not go to bed feeling full at all.
Yeah.
You should feel comfortable, but not full.
Gotcha.
By the time you fall asleep, if you ate, say at 6:30 or 7 and went to bed at 10, by the time you fall asleep, you're going to be far enough along in the digestive process that probably within about the next 3 hours, most of the food will have left your stomach, come through the small intestine.
Gotcha.
It won't all go all the way through the small intestine, but it'll be far enough along that the body doesn't have to do the hard work of breaking things down.
Yeah.
I've experimented with it a lot. I personally don't sleep well at all if I eat. Like if I typically go to bed around 9 because I get up at 3:30 in the morning. So if I eat later than about 6, I notice I don't get nearly the quality of sleep.
Yeah.
So I need about 3 hours myself. But everybody should just, realize that each of us is so individual. You got to be your own scientist and say, okay, let me pay attention. What happens if I eat dinner 3 hours before bed? Oh, let me try 2 hours. Let me try an hour before bed. And you'll quickly get the feedback. It's not like you need a doctor or a therapist to tell you that. That's an expensive way to
true. Just try
avoid
it
common
yourself.
sense.
Well, here's a question I have.
One more thing.
Oh, go ahead.
We forgot the fourth doctor.
Yeah, my bad.
Dr. Quiet. Dr. Quiet's all about sleep. And we all are built in tune with natural cycles. So our hormonal system is regulated by the sun and the moon. Once the sun starts rising up, your cortisol levels, which is your primary stress hormone, elevate. And it's an activating hormone. It stimulates the brainstem, called the reticular activating system. It has an alerting effect on you. Research shows that if you're sound asleep and a photon hits your skin, I can take a laser pointer when you're sound asleep and point it at your big toe, and you've got cells in your skin called cryptochrome cells that will deliver photons to your hypothalamus and wake you up because your body thinks if there's light, the sun's up.
Whoa.
So as the sun goes up, our major stress hormone, which protects us, supports us, and it's also the major anti-inflammatory hormone and the major alerting hormone, right? And it's coupled with adrenaline. So you have adrenaline, then cortisol in the release cascade. They follow the sun as they go up. So we're designed to be the most active between about 10 o'clock and about 1 o'clock during the day. And then as it goes down and the sun's going down and the moon starts to go up, melatonin comes up, and it's the chief regulating hormone for all your anabolic hormones, which is your growth and repair hormones. So if a person, for example, before I tell you that, research shows that the first 4 hours of sleep, our body focuses on physical repair. So we need to be to bed by 10 o'clock p.m. on average. Otherwise, we delay the release of melatonin. So if we're, around flashing lights or these kinds of lights, it keeps telling your brain the sun's up. So as long as cortisol levels are up, melatonin levels stay suppressed, which means the half-life of cortisol is quite long. And you could end up, it can be 400 minutes. It's different depending on how healthy your liver is and how strong your liver is. But if you, for example, drink a cup of coffee at dinner time, you're going to still have tons of cortisol in you 4 hours later. So by the time you're just about to get up, you're only now is your body ready to release melatonin, but you've missed all your growth and repair time. So athletes burn themselves out and get lots of chronic injuries doing that. So if you just remember the simple rule that the activation hormones follow the sun and the growth and repair hormones follow the moon. So if you keep pushing your cortisol levels because you're making an extended day, which is like making an extended summer, so to speak, then you repress your growth and repair hormones. And the first 4 hours of sleep should be, the body devotes itself to physical repair, and the second 4 hours of sleep are devoted to psychogenic repair, so brain and nervous system repair. And having known this for many, many years, I saw monitoring people's sleep cycles that sure enough, those that went to bed, say at midnight, had chronic physical problems. But those that were shift workers or mothers with new children that were staying up between about 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. had chronic neurological problems like headaches, cognitive disorders, crash cars a lot.
Yeah, Jesus.
Cut their fingers a lot with knives because their psychogenic repair is getting shut down. In fact, research on new mothers shows that in the first year, a woman's brain shrinks 1 centimeter in circumference. It shrinks like a plum becoming a prune due to lack of sleep. So
terrible.
The key thing that just to summarize, we need to make sure that we get to bed ideally by about 10 o'clock. And we've got to follow the natural cycles. And we want to make sure we don't eat too much food before bed because our body can't rest. And we don't want to drink coffee or stimulants any later than about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or it'll completely disrupt our hormonal cycles and we'll end up sleeping but waking up tired. We will sleep, but we will not be recovered. And if the more physically demanding your work environment or your sports environment is, the more critical that becomes to your ability to improve, to grow, to recover, and to avoid injury and illness. And Dr. Quiet is also the chief of introspection. So if we don't take time each day to be alone and within ourselves, then we externalize our sense of self. So we only know ourselves by how much money we have, or what kind of car we drive, or how high our rank is in our work, or how our status is. So we actually start identifying ourselves only by what's outside, but we never really get to know who we are on the inside. And I can tell you from many people that have had a crisis in their life, like losing a job or an athlete getting injured who no longer could perform, they go into a crisis of self because they don't know who they are without their status or without their hockey stick in their hand or without their money coming in. And they go into a serious crisis of self. And it's like having a midlife crisis, but it's really a crisis of self. So if we take time each day to do what we classically be called meditation, or just simply to reflect on our day and say, how did I do in my relationships today? Could I have been a better listener with my children? Or could I have been more patient with my wife? Or could I have done a better job at work instead of taking shortcuts and making excuses? And we actually take responsibility for growing ourselves and looking at ourselves objectively and being honest with ourselves. Then we actually grow spiritually and we grow consciously and we learn how to love better.
Yeah, so when you said you get up at 3:30 and you do spiritual practices, what does that look like? A lot of people hear that term and they're just kind of like, they think it just sounds like so otherworldly and mystical. Like, how would you do? Like, do you have a couple you describe that are kind of beneficial?
I did Tai Chi every day for 18 years. I studied with a Tai Chi master for several years. I trained in medical Qigong. I began meditating when I was 12 when my mother joined the Self-Realization Fellowship. I do various types of exercises. I can teach you one in just a second, which is very simple. Anyone can do. It's very powerful. I spend a lot of time in prayer. I give thanks for everything I have and all the blessings in my life. And I just sort of, take stock of how grateful I am, to have the home I have, to have the children I have. I have 2 wives, so I'm blessed there.
Say what now?
Yeah, I have 2 wives.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
I'll be mature about it.
It's not a religious thing. It's just, I was married for 17 years to my first wife. I have a 45-year-old son from that marriage. And I realized I just wasn't cut out for monogamy. It just seemed very unnatural to me. And I really hated the idea that I couldn't express love to women that I felt a loving relationship with because I was married and I had this Christian vows, till death do you part. but I did not feel that that was true to who I was. So after I went through my first divorce, I made a promise to myself that I would not ever get married again unless I could have an open relationship. And my rule was, as long as we're getting along together and we want to work through our problems together, then let's stay together. But if we don't want to be together, then we shouldn't be together. We should go out and find the people that are more appropriate for us at that time. And I meditated on that and asked Great Spirit for help. And I found exactly the perfect woman. I met her. I knew exactly who she was when I met her. Because I'd seen visions of her in my meditations. 4 days later, we were engaged, and I've been married to her for 28 years. And that's who just dropped me off.
Damn.
And I met, I was able to, through my open marriage, to explore and share love. But then I met a woman who is my second wife, Angie Check, who I have 2 kids with now, and Penny's their mother too. And Penny's rule from the very beginning was, look, you can have as many wives as you want, but I have these rules. Mm-hmm. Here's the rules. They have to cook, clean, contribute to the bottom line, and they cannot talk too much. Because my wife's all about business and the bottom line. She doesn't like a bunch of yakety-yak, gossipy women.
Man, what a blessing, dude.
Yeah, and so...
You tell her you're kind of thinking the same thing?
Well, when I was what I call young, dumb, and full of cum, and I was thinking about the sex all the time, and I thought, I'd like 7 wives or something like that. But, when you realize each person you're in an intimate relationship adds another complete level of complexity. Mm-hmm. And then you got to hope that they get along with each other.
Yeah.
But after probably 20 years of that type of living, I realized when I met Angie, who's a very powerful shaman, healer. She's got, both of my women are extremely smart. I mean, Penny's got a degree in biological anthropology from Cambridge University. She's got a degree in exercise and sport science from Colorado State. She's got a degree in business from Colorado State, and she's a pilot. And Angie's got a degree in energy medicine, a degree in biology, a degree in nutrition. And she's did a 3-year advanced training program in shamanism, and she's an expert in biogeometry, and she runs my nutrition and lifestyle coaching department.
Okay. So
between these girls, there's probably 6 or 7 degrees there. I'm the guy with the 9th grade education. So I figure if you're gonna spend time with a woman, you might as well find the most powerful, capable one you can. Yeah. Which a lot of guys do the opposite. They want a bimbo that they can control and use as a play toy. But I'm like, you're never going to get anything done that's meaningful in the world with that kind of relationship.
Yeah, no kind of spring. It's never. It sounds cool at first, but then eventually, there's nothing to sustain a multi-year relationship.
I used to be a race car driver, and my goal was always to have the most horsepower and the best handling car I could create. Mm-hmm. And that's how I like women. The most horsepower and the best handling woman I can find. And so I have 2 very high-powered, very, very capable women. And we run, we're the primary people behind the educational development of the Chek Institute, which I founded in 1995. And we've had over 63,000 students come through our program. I have a 5-year academy. It's very serious, comprehensive education.
It is. I've looked into it before. Yeah. It's very, very comprehensive.
It's not a fluffy fly-by-night, post. It's not a box of pizza. It's the real deal.
Yeah.
And so I need people around me that are in line with my values. And so, once I met Angie, I realized that this woman was so intelligent and so amazing and so incredible, and all I could ever imagine sexually. I'm like, okay, I've just met God. And so I just went to Penny and said, I've reached the point now where I feel like it's too complex for me to manage all these women. Because I would have a beautiful partner in Sydney. I mean, I lived on the road for 25 years lecturing all over the world. So I had lovers in Sydney. I had lovers in Auckland. I had lovers in London, but every one of them has families and have friends and has needs. And Paul, will you help my dad? He's sick. Can I borrow some money? And I just felt like my life was being spread so thin that after a while, I felt like it was stopping me from really devoting enough time to Penny, who's the Buddha that allowed me to even have this joy. And so Angie was just such a complete and incredible human being. I just went to Penny. I said, and Penny knew Angie. I mean, Penny knows all these women. I've never kept anything from my wife. That's a great way to ruin your relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, women are so much smarter than men on average.
Yeah, especially with stuff like relationship stuff. You can't get away with anything.
No, they got eyes.
Know it.
They got radar that we don't even come close to. I tell people, men all the time, if you think you're tricking your wife, you're dumber than a sack of hammer handles. You're about to lose half your money and all your joy.
It's true. You can't lie. You might be able to pull the wool over once, maybe, but dude, they can look at you and they're like,
They know.
the fuck are you up to?
You know, I've had so many professional athletes trying that come to me for help, and I'm like, the first thing you got to do is learn to tell the truth, or you're just going to create. You're digging your own grave every day is what you're doing.
Yeah, especially lying is so bad for you. Just
Yeah.
like just living, just having a lie in the back of your head.
Well, not only
Destroys
that, you've got to disconnect yourself from your own heart to survive that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how you end your spiritual growth and development.
Yeah.
You know, spiritually, they say the longest journey you'll ever take is from your head to your heart. And for a lot of people, it takes a lot of lifetimes to get there.
Yeah.
So my philosophy is don't do anything that disconnects your heart from your head, because only your heart can deliver justice to your head. And without your heart, you can easily convince yourself of all sorts of shit and become the devil while blaming everyone else for being the devil.
Yeah.
So I went to Penny and I said, look, I really love Angie. I think she'll really contribute to the family. She meets your criteria. You know, of course, Penny knew her because she's been around me for years and been to my training programs, and, you know, she lectures at our institute. And Penny said, if that's what you want to do and you feel comfortable letting go of these other relationships, then I will support you, because I believe Angie will be a contributor to our family and to our mission. And so we did a 3-way marriage ceremony. First, we tested each other. We went through psychological testing to see how compatible we were.
What testing did you use? I'm just curious.
Myers-Briggs was
Okay.
one of them, and there's
Yeah.
another one we use. I don't remember the name of it. So we tested Angie and Penny and Angie, so that both ways. And we tested me and Penny and me. We already knew that worked. And we tested me and Angie and me, and every one of them showed highly compatible.
Awesome.
And interestingly, the psychological profile for Angie and Penny were identical, but inverted. Angie was very high in intuition and low in mathematical logical, and Penny's very high in mathematical logical and low in intuition. So they were like mirrors of each other.
Whoa.
And Angie and Penny and I have been in a relationship for 13 years now, and those women have never had a single fight. I've never seen them like have what we would call a fight.
Have you ever had a double fight at once, like 2-on-1?
I've been outvoted, yes.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Yeah, that's why, many of my students, especially young men, come to me, I want to have multiple partners like you do. And they think it's all about the sex. And I always tell them, you better learn to ride one horse really well before you try to ride two at once, because you will get hurt.
Yeah. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine.
It's if you want rapid spiritual growth, and just have two wives, because the bullshitting factor is zero. It's like, get ready to be pinned on the carpet. And when, I always say, every time you add a new woman to a chief's tent, his power is divided by that number of women.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you think you're in charge, but women run the world. Men just haven't figured it out yet.
Traditions are what the holidays are all about. This year, start a new tradition with Ibotta. Ibotta gives you cash back on all your purchases, so you can keep those holiday traditions alive, no matter how old or new. Ibotta is a free app that lets you earn cash back every time you shop. You can earn on hundreds of items, from groceries to toys to tech. The average Ibotta user earns $256 per year. Think of how much extra holiday magic you can make this season with more room in your budget. I mean, I just would love to make more holiday magic with the Ibotta app. What the heck are you guys even talking about? With Ibotta, you can earn cash back that you can withdraw to your bank account, PayPal, or gift cards. Simply add offers in the app, upload your receipt, and voila, the money is yours. You can save on over 2,400 brands and shop at over 1,000 retailers, including your favorite grocery stores, Lowe's, Macy's, Sephora, Best Buy, and more. It's time you join the over 50 million users who use Ibotta to earn cash back every time they shop and keep the holiday magic alive. Come on, guys, don't let the holidays die. Right now, Ibotta is offering our listeners $5 just for trying Ibotta by using the code DRENCHED when you register. Just go to the App Store or Google Play Store and download the free Ibotta app to start earning cash back, and use code DRENCHED. That's IBOTTA in the Google Play or App Store, and use code DRENCHED. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, so your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup live. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Think Justin Jefferson will get more than 83.5 yards next week? Lamar Jackson will pass more than 1.5 TDs, meaning touchdowns? Cook up hot takes with your friends and win real money this football season when you and your crew run your game on Prize Picks. I mean, guys, what more do I love than real money daily fantasy platforms? Guys, come on now. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code DRENCHED to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code DRENCHED on the Prize Picks app to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Guys, please, I have a couple of shows too. I got to tell you about these. If you live in Tysons, Virginia, that whole area, it's like around DC, whatever. Capital One Hall, big theater show, second in my life. Please come. That would be awesome. It's actually a pretty large space, and I'd feel foolish if it were empty, but if it's got to be empty, so be it. I'd love for you guys to come if you can. That is on 11/15, Capital One Hall, Tysons, Virginia. And then also on the next day, I'll be in New York City on 11/16 at Town Hall as part of the New York Comedy Festival. So come to that too if you want to go to that. Also, and that's a big one, guys. This is the New York City Comedy Festival. And then a few weeks after that, I'll be in Irvine, California at the Irvine Improv. Guys, this is huge. This is going to be right around Thanksgiving. 11/29 to 11/30. I have 4 shows, 2 days, Irvine Improv. The place is fucking massive. Come on, Cali. You guys know I'm fucking SoCal. You guys know I'm fucking with the shit. Please come out there. All the tickets, you can get them on mattmccusker.com. There should be a link in the YouTube. I literally almost did this. Cut my fucking hands off. There should be a link in the YouTube description somewhere in there. Thank you, guys.
And actually, research shows that 65% of all the women spent in the world is spent by money.
Yeah.
I mean, spent by women.
Yeah, I've seen that before, and I believe it.
So even though men may make more, it's the women that are actually moving the money.
Oh, big time.
So to conclude, what I'm saying is we have an amazing family experience. We're very productive. We all have the same mission, vision, and values. Angie and I have had 2 kids, and so they have 2 mothers, which is amazing.
It's awesome.
My son, Mana, bonded very strongly with Penny, interestingly, right from the beginning. He looks like Penny. Angie's Mexican, brown skin. Just you imagine a pretty little hot Mexican woman, and you got Angie. And Mana's blonde-haired, fair skin, blue-eyed, and Penny's blonde-haired, fair skin, and hazel eyes. But everyone sees Mana and thinks he's Penny's child. And our second one, Zoe, is exactly a carbon copy of Mommy. She's like a hot, cute little Mexican mini mommy.
Yeah.
And she bonds very strongly with Mama. So I think it was Great Spirit's trick to get Penny inspired to be a mother, because Penny never really wanted to be a mother.
Okay.
So she fell in love with Mana and he fell in love with her. And so imagine being a kid with 2 mothers of that level of intelligence. You know, we have a 14-acre farm and we run a big business, and we have people from all over the world coming to us. We've had, we travel, the kids have traveled all over the place because we have to teach all over the world. So I mean, when Mana was probably only 4 months old, he was already in England on seminar tours. So these kids are very worldly children. And we feed them the best food you can buy. We grow most of our food, and we buy from, organic farmers and free-range meat farmers and ranchers. And the kids go to a Waldorf school, so they're getting educated based on Steiner's system of education, which, based on my analysis, is hands down the best in the world. And so, I basically spent many, many years as a therapist looking at what causes people trouble, what gets them sick, what leads to cancer. And I found the number of people that have been married for a long time but didn't want to be in the marriage, but stayed in it because they thought God would burn them in hell if they broke their marriage vows or got a divorce, was so high. I learned very early in my now 40-year career that it's not a wise thing to do to stay married to somebody that you're not in love with and that you don't want to be with, because all you do is teach your children how to have a fucked up relationship. And that becomes problems for the rest of your life that you got to deal with as a parent. And so after my first marriage, I just made a promise to myself, I'm going to live true to my heart. And I know that there's women out there that want to live true to their heart too. And you'd be amazed when you're honest with women. They'll tell you yes or no. And I found it was no harder to find women that would agree to that than it was to find women that would go monogamous or that demanded monogamy.
Yeah.
But we just grew into this relationship, and well, we're 13 years in now. And like I said, I've got a 45-year-old son with a grandson from my first marriage. So I became a father for the second time at 54, and then my daughter came along a couple of years later. So here I am, 63, with two little ones and a big one and a grandson. But it took me a long time to learn how to be a father. I mean, I realized at 54, I'm actually only now ready to be a dad. My first son came when I just turned 18, and I didn't know how to be a father. You know, and I didn't have a good example as a father. So to have reached that level of maturity and that much understanding of life, and then to be wise enough to choose really intelligent women. Angie's an amazing mother. They're both amazing mothers. And my kids are damn smart. They're surrounded by very intelligent people all the time. And so they eat great food and they live on top of a mountain on a beautiful farm. And you know, my daughter's doing amazing in gymnastics. My son's got the mind of an engineer, and you know, we're watching kids grow in an environment that is like an organic farm.
Yeah.
They get a chance to get a lot of love and to really explore themselves. And I emulate to my students to live true to your heart and not fall into conventional ideas, because, you know, living in the consensus reality is like being a sheep in a herd. But if you actually start interviewing people to ask how many people are actually happy in their marriages, I've had patients come to me with serious health problems that have been married for 35 years. And I've said to them, when were you not happy in the marriage? I've literally had women crying their eyes out saying, Paul, to be honest with you, I knew I was in trouble the day I got married.
Yeah.
I said, well, why'd you stay and have kids? Because I'm a Christian. And I have marriage vows. And I said, so you think God wants you to live in a torturous relationship and raise kids in an environment where they realize that marriage is a painful and potentially ugly thing?
Yeah.
You know, and so
real quick, to ask
that's,
you,
that's a problem.
I can see that. Do you think there is some redemptive fact to the process of learning to kind of relate to somebody over time, where initially it might not feel great?
Oh, absolutely.
But
Yeah.
you're saying if it hits levels of just like soul deadedness and like going
Well,
through the
when you get to
motions.
the point where you know either you're not compatible with somebody or you're not willing to do the work to grow in relationship with that person. Like most people don't actually explore their values with someone else. So when you get confronted by things like a woman gets pregnant, but you don't want the child, and you don't realize that there's one that's pro-abortion and one that's against abortion.
Yeah.
That's a barn burner of a problem to have. When you got a pandemic that comes and one's pro-vaccine, the other one says, don't do it, it's too dangerous.
Yeah.
And one wants to vaccinate the children, the other one doesn't. I've seen relationships completely destroyed. So if you don't have a deep enough level of love and commitment to work through the rigors and the challenges that life inevitably brings, you just set yourself up to live in hell.
Yeah.
So the point I'm making, if it's not dead clear, if you can't walk through hell with your partner and hold their hand, then you shouldn't be in the relationship.
I see what you're saying. If you're just going through the motions and
If you're just going through the motions, you're not living. You're already in flatland, and you'll probably need an addiction to get you through it.
Yeah.
You'll need to drink yourself through it, or drug yourself through it, or bury yourself in work, or become an exercise addict or something. And I've rehabilitated thousands of these people. I mean, look, I'm not a young guy. I have 40 years of clinical experience. I have seen exactly how this plays out over and over again, and it ain't pretty. And it's often for the wrong reasons. And the worst reason there is because of what other people will think.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a shit what other people think. Like, my job is to be true to myself and true to the people I share relationships with, because without that, what have I got? If I fit into the crowd, but I'm living a life that's completely unappealing and unpleasing, that just takes the wind right out of your sails, and you just go half-mast through your life, and you'll never become good at anything.
Yeah.
To achieve mastery requires commitment and focus. And if you can't achieve mastery in your relationships, then you're not going to achieve mastery in your professional relationships either.
Yeah. Well, so what is the Spirit Gym? I know you started that up.
Spirit Gym is a holistic system of spiritual development that I develop based on all my years' experience. And I saw how much problem religions cause people. I could see the beauty in them, but I could see the traps in them, and I could see how it results in a lot of health problems and a lot of belief. I think beliefs are very dangerous, because the day you believe something, you stop asking questions, and your mind becomes closed. So I think, by definition, spirituality is a progressively expanded sense of connection to a greater and greater whole. But oftentimes when you're in a religion, you immediately identify yourself as this religion or that religion, and you are often taught or threatened that you should not look into or participate in other religions, for example. So you won't find Christians reading Buddhist literature, but there's a ton of great stuff in Buddhism that any Christian can use. And there's stuff in Christianity that a Buddhist can use. And there's stuff in Judaism that they could all use.
Yeah.
So once you're in a belief system, it's like being in a cult. And I've watched how it destroys people's lives and it keeps them very narrow-minded. And, you know, if you study this, you'll find something quite shocking. The most common cause of wars throughout history has been religious differences.
Yeah.
And if you look at Ken Wilber's new book, Radical Wholeness, he states right in there at least 3 times the number one cause of war is religious differences. I mean, well, if there is a God and God is love, then God's not intended to inspire war, death, and destruction. So that right there you see the problem that belief systems are like any ism. They pit you against people and you stop asking bigger questions. And as soon as you stop asking bigger questions, you stop growing mentally, you stop growing emotionally, and you halt your spiritual growth. Therefore, you see, if it's like being a racist. If you're a white supremacist, then you never get the joy of knowing the beauty of black people. You never, you might not even eat their food or listen to their music.
Yeah.
But if you think, okay, how many of us love food from around the world? I like Chinese food. I like Japanese food. I like Jamaican food, man. I like Brazilian food. And I like all their music too. And I love their beautiful women. So if someone said, I'm practicing such and such a religion, or I have such and such a racial bias, you've just cut 2/3 of my heart out.
Yeah.
You've just turned me into a robot, into somebody else's play toy, into somebody who's got such narrow vision that they will never actually see the beauty of God. They will never see it even though they're walking around in it and wearing it. And that is really to be a blind man. So Spiritism is really a system I built that teaches you how to analyze your own story so that you can ask yourself, is the story that I'm empowering each day fulfilling to me? And if it's not, what is my dream? And how do I create a story for myself that's dream affirmative and life affirmative? And how do I live in such a way that I embrace the truth of good, the truth of beauty, and the truth of life, and accept the challenges of life as growth opportunities so that I don't just drug myself, or put my head in the sand. And so I built a system based on principles. So the first principle is getting clear on what the word God means. Next is understanding how the universe is created based on metaphysical concepts and on the concepts of science, cosmology, and quantum physics. The next principle is the next principle is myth, which is the science and history and the understanding of what a myth is. Myth means story. So once you understand why myths have been created by tribes throughout antiquity and what the function of a myth is, then you know what your myth or your story has to include, or you're running blind, right? I could give you a whole description of myth and what it has to include, but it would take some time. So once we understand what God means by definition, what being is, what is existence itself, why is it here, then we go to myth and we understand the importance of being clear on our story so we're congruent with our dream and we don't create problems for ourselves by living out a story that isn't even our own. Most people don't even know their own story. They're just living out their mother's ideas, their church's ideas, or their ism without really thinking, is this working for me? And just wondering why they feel like shit, they're tired all the time, and they got to drink alcohol to numb themselves from their ism. So then we deal with the principle of 2, which is duality, which is what it takes to have a mind. You have to have a duality. It has to be a subject, me, you, the object. You're the object of my awareness right now, but it's the subject and me watching. If you're in a loving relationship, one's the lover, one's the beloved. So one's the lover, one's the beloved. So if this is a person, I, the lover, am loving the beloved. So whenever you have a duality, you have the prerequisites for love. There always has to be a lover and a beloved. And the prerequisite, love is the basis of relationship. Love is the code word that holds everything together in the whole universe, even an atom. Love really just means relationship. And so you can't have life without relationship, and you can't have a mind without relationship. To have a mind, you have to have 2 points of sentience that exchange energy and information. A computer is not a mind. It's an information processor because it doesn't know what you're putting through it. It doesn't care if you build an atomic bomb to kill people or you come up with the most amazing cure for a disease. The computer won't know the difference. So that's an information processor. That's not a mind. A mind is actually sentient, and it processes energy and information with the intention of accomplishing an objective that something is sentient of, being you in this case, or me. So once you get to the position, the principle of two, you're understanding what is the true nature of a duality and why do we have to have a duality and how do you manage dualities? Like how do you use duality in your favor as opposed to creating opposition, me against you or white against black or this religion against that religion, because that's just a low level of consciousness. The principle of three is the Holy Trinity, which explains how God or that which is unknowable manifests itself as being or life or existence. And so once we understand that process, we can say, this is the same principles we use to create our dreams. This is how we dream our house into existence, save the money, buy the land. This is how we dream our ideal partner into our life. Like I did, I meditated 1.5 years after enough years of girlfriends that drove me crazy. And I realized, these girls, they don't know how to handle a guy like me that's very mission oriented. So I got clear what I needed in a partner. I also got clear what I would give her.
Yeah.
So I just thank Great Spirit every day for this amazing woman and read off the qualities that I want, read what I was willing to give. Had a vision of her after 1.5 years meditating. 5 days later, she showed up in one of my classes. As soon as I saw her, it literally felt like electricity running through my body. I went, oh my God, there she is. I am stunned and amazed that she's actually here. 4 days later, we were engaged, and that was 28 years of marriage ago.
Damn.
Right. So I've done this many, many times. We wanted our dream home and our dream property. It took us 5 years, but we mapped it all out. I went into meditation with Angie, and we channeled the vision of our home, drew it. When we found the home, our map was exactly the map of the property. We said the prayer every morning. We gave thanks for the home. We kept looking and looking until we found it. And when we found it, we knew it.
Wow.
And there it was. And interestingly, every year I do a mandala, which is a diagram in a circle to symbolize my year. So I go into meditation and I ask my soul to give me the vision of what symbolizes my year. And that year, I saw the Native American Indian sun face, which is a circle of feathers with the Indian sun face in the middle, which if you saw the Native American Indian sun face, you know exactly what it looks like. The trippiest thing, the girls were out looking for houses, and this one wasn't even on the list to go look at, but as they were getting on the freeway to come home, it said open house, closes such and such a date, which was that day. So they were just closing it and they were going to put it on an auction. And the girls went, and when they pulled up to the gate at the big opening of the property is a big metal gate because it's a big estate. On the front of the gate was a 6-foot circular mandala with exactly what I had painted.
Whoa.
And they both stopped and were stunned and took a picture and said, Paul, you're not going to believe what is on the gate to this property. And it turned out to be, I'm a remote viewer as well. So for 3 months before they found the house, in my meditations, I started seeing this property and this land. So I said to my soul, is this our new home? My soul said, yes, it is. I said, my God, it's so damn big. It looks like a hotel. I said, you sure that's we're going to be where we're going to live? My soul said, yes, you're going to be running your businesses there. You're going to need plenty of space. You're going to have a lot of people coming in and out of there. And so I used my skills as a remote viewer. I walked through the house. I looked at the property. So when the girls found it and they were walking the property, they called me and told me about the gate. And they said, you've got to see this property. It's going to blow your mind. It's exactly what we've been looking for. It's everything we wrote down. And I said, when you pulled up to the front of the house, was there a big metal gate? Yeah, that's the one I saw your mandala on. Is there a pond on the right side of the driveway when you pulled in? Yes. When you walk in the front door, does it have really high ceilings with which look Mediterranean-style wooden fans up in the top of the ceilings? They said, exactly. I said, if you walk through the house to the back, is the swimming pool back there? Yes. If you go to the edge of the swimming pool, is it really steep, almost like a cliff, down into the property? They said, Paul, exactly. I said, if you walk out the back of the house, is there a big building that would hold my gym and our classroom? They said, yes. I said, does it have a guest house? They said, yes. I said, that's the place I've been seeing for 3 months.
What?
Yep. And it was on the market 2 years earlier for $4 million. And when I found out that it was going into auction, my soul said, do not bid, because there's very few people that can afford the maintenance on a place like that.
Yeah.
And they're probably not going to get a bid on it. Wait, and they'll call you. Because we had gone there and we'd fill out the registration, and my Angie and Penny were scared to death. They said, Paul, are you sure if we lose this house, that's it. We got to keep looking. We've been looking for 5 years. I said, my soul's never misled me. Sure enough, the next morning, our real estate agent called us at like 8 o'clock in the morning, she said, "You were right, Paul. Nobody bid on the house. Now's your chance." Not even 2 hours later, the real estate agent for the house called us. So I bid 1.8, and they wrote back and counterbid me 1.925. So
Whoa.
the land is worth that much.
Damn. They had padded it. I mean, I guess they could sell for whatever they want, but they were like, yeah, fine.
It wasn't they padded it. If you saw this place, it's worth $4
yeah,
million.
that makes
It's
sense.
just that it's 15,000 square feet of buildings. It's 14 acres of land. There's
Damn.
pump systems. I mean, it's a lot to manage. I mean,
Yeah.
it cost me a lot of money
And there's probably less and less people
to
inclined to
manage
do all that.
it. You know, I have to have a full-time gardener and handyman.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a big place, but it's exactly because we wanted to consolidate all of our business into one location, so we didn't have to keep driving all over the place. Angie had her own business that was successful. She owned a nutrition store and ran a personal training business. I had the institute. I had a house that I used for seeing all my clients with a big gym in it. And so we consolidated all of our work into one place. So now our institute courses are run there. I see my clients there. My office is in the guest house. Penny's office is in the guest house.
That's awesome.
So we basically are spending far less money than we were for all these 3 places. Now we only have 1 gym instead of 3. Now we only have 1 location clients need to come, and everybody absolutely loves it there. It's stunningly beautiful. But the point is, this is, using your mind and using your heart to manifest. In the same way I brought Penny into my life through manifestation, I brought my home into my life, and I've done this over and over again. That's what I teach. That's what real spiritual development's about, is learning to work with source energy and consciousness instead of walking around just hoping all the time. Or
So that's the difference. Because when people hear manifesting, they really do, I think of like, or it comes to my mind that it sounds like bullshit, where you're just like, so I'm just going to imagine a house is going to come. But you seem like it's more intentional of like a daily practice of like imagining.
It's not just imagining. As the Quakers say, pray and move your feet.
Yeah.
Everybody prays, but they forget to move their feet.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? So we looked at houses for 5 years.
Yeah.
Right? And each time we like that feature, but there's a highway right next to the house, or, we like this big living room. And so as we were doing it, we were saying, okay, we want to write that on our dream. We had a big poster we made on we call it the vision board. And every morning we would do a prayer, all 3 of us. And I would vaporize some tobacco and herbs, and I'd blow smoke into it, which is a sacred practice to energize it with our consciousness. And so we actually poured our intention into it. If you think of God as unconditional love, that's pure potential. There's no condition there. The answer is always yes from source. God says yes to being an idiot, and God says yes to being a wise man. Obviously, look around.
Yeah.
Okay? So if God is unconditional love, then you must have an intention to create the movement of potential into actuation, and the flow of that energy and information is what we call spirit. So spirit is the flow of energy and information. What people don't realize is you're constantly moving energy and information into potential from spirit, but most people are doing it unconsciously, which is almost always based on what they don't want. Most people live by their fears, not by their dreams. And I tell people, fear never makes a good seeing eye dog. It's just not, because you always see what you're looking for. The ancients had an important saying, you bring forth that which you gaze upon. So if you walk into a room and you're always looking for something bad, you'll see it.
Yeah.
If you walk into the room and you're looking for the beauty or you're looking for the fun, you'll find it, right? Most people don't have enough training to watch their own mind to see what it's creating all the time. And so that's what Spirit Gym's all about. It's learning how to use tried and tested principles from spiritual masters, from experts in the science of mind, from experts in psychology, from quantum physics, from metaphysics. Basically, I spent my whole life studying and looked at everything that I could learn that's relevant to how to live a life that's true to your heart, and being honest in your relationships, and creating the life you want, and doing the work that you want to do in life so that you can make money because you're doing something you love to do, and achieving mastery. And I put it into an education system, and I mentor these people so they get the same kind of coaching that I do with my one-on-one clients, except I coach them in a group. And there's about 130 hours of online training that I built to take them through all these principles. And each week I meet with them and I give them a 1-hour presentation on something that's important for them to know. And then I open the floor for questions on their personal life, their personal challenges, or anything they want help with as they're working through the lessons. And I've watched people just transform right in front of my eyes. I've seen depressed people become inspired and motivated. I've seen sick people get healthy. I've seen sad people get happy.
Yeah.
And it's not a surprise to me because I've been a therapist for 40 years. I mean, I've studied this inside out and backwards, and I've had to deal with my own challenges just like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I really felt it was time in my career to stop spending my time working with people one-on-one because the world's in such dangerous state right now that I realized we can't wait for a top-down rescue. I don't think Jesus is coming back. They nailed him to a tree the first time. He's not stupid. I don't think...
Well, here's a question for you, and I think, I kind of dig everything you're saying. I feel like, well, I guess it's a statement, then a question. I feel like God has become a taboo. It's a modern taboo. You can talk about sex, you can talk about, whatever you want. If you bring up God, a lot of people get kind of like, where are you going with this? Like, relax, man. Maybe it always was because, like, if you brought up the wrong religion, people spaz.
Everybody's conception of God is unique to themselves, and because you have all this religious division, if you're a Christian talking about God to a Muslim, then they're going to immediately think you're against them.
Yeah, or an atheist.
Or an atheist, right?
Yeah.
But remember...
Well, here's my question.
I want to just give me 1 second.
Go ahead.
You use that word atheist.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's something Carl Jung said that's very important to hear. Something must first be real before it can be rejected. Meditate on that.
Yeah. It's pretty wild.
It's true.
Yeah.
There's no atheist in a foxhole.
Yeah.
I'm a soldier. Trust me.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that as well. And that's why I think there's something, my question is, how necessary do you think it is for, like, psychologically to have a spiritually oriented framework to work in if you want to kind of like gain some sort of, self-mastery or peace of mind versus just kind of like what I feel like might be kind of sanitized, like.
I don't think it's necessary. I mean, I've known people that are very masterful at a lot of things that are atheists, materialists, or even my wife Penny is agnostic.
Okay.
My wife's a scientist, She did a lot of extensive research in university. She's a very scientific, very intelligent. She's a pilot. The woman that just dropped me off is a genius.
Yeah.
And I'm a guy that knows intelligent people and worked with some of the most rich and smart people on this planet. My wife is a genius. And she says, I'm happy that you love God, but God is not important to me because I can't prove the existence or non-existence of God. And she says, I've got important things to handle. Like, how are we going to pay the bills this month? And how do I manage all these employees and take care of these kids and make sure this farm is handled? She says, I will find out if God's real when I die, and that's fine with me. But in the meantime, I'm going to do my best to live a meaningful life and love as fully as I can because that's who I am. I don't need someone to take me to church to do what's inherently natural to me.
Okay. So that's interesting. So you really don't think it's like as crucial. I guess it's all person to person.
No, I think it's individual. The difference is religion is typically a set of beliefs that's closed. It's an ideology. It's a belief system. By definition, all belief systems are closed. Spirituality is an open exploration for the truth. So that's why I say spirituality is a progressive expansion of your sense of wholeness to your connection to what makes you feel whole and what you are. So, for example, spirituality, if you want a simple model, progresses from I-oriented consciousness. It's all about what I want, what I need, like a child. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Then you grow up to realize that you can't do anything meaningful in the world without relationships. So your consciousness evolves to we. And so instead of being self-centered, now you become we-centered. You say, okay, I can't just think of myself. I got to think about my wife and her needs, my boss, my friends, my coworkers, my teammates. Then all of a sudden you realize you couldn't be here without the food that feeds you, the water that hydrates you, the air you breathe. And you realize the car you drive is made by someone on the other side of the world. The computer you're using was made by someone on the other side of the world. And so you finally wake up to the fact that it takes the whole world to support all of us. And so now your sense of self and wholeness grows to embrace the whole world because you realize everybody's meaningful. Everybody's contributing to each other. And so you wouldn't buy into a belief system that was my group against your group because you realize none of us can get by without each other. Okay, so then you become world-centric. Well, then you progressively expand your consciousness and you say, wait a minute, could the earth be here without the sun? And could we survive without? No. What would happen if there was no moon to move the tides of the ocean? We'd all die. So all of a sudden you realize, wow, I was an earth-centered person, but now I've got to be a solar system-centered person. But then you realize, oh my God, the solar system's part of a galaxy and it couldn't be here without a galaxy. Then all of a sudden you realize you're part of a galactic family. And you go, wait a minute, the galaxy is part of the universe. So now you reach what's called cosmic consciousness, and you realize that all of it is a dance. All of it is a being that's alive. All of it is something so magical and so mysterious that all you can do is stand there and go, "Ah, my God, it took the entire universe to create me." And I could give you the physics of the fact that if we scientifically analyze even the minerals and the elements in your body, I can prove to you scientifically that it took the entire universe to make you. And it's been done many times.
How? How do they do that?
Simple. You take the elements of the periodic table that are in your body,
Yeah.
and you say, okay, where did that come from? Well, that came from the sun. That came from Mars. Okay, well, how did they get into the sun? Well, other stars exploded and collapsed into a sun.
Damn.
Through black hole, whatever model you want to use. And so you keep playing that game. So where'd that come from? It ends up reaching to the end of the universe.
It's crazy.
So what you realize, even scientifically, is it takes an entire universe to make each one of us. And that's just scientific fact. I don't care if you believe in God or not. I can sit you down and show you the research on it. And so, okay, if you're a scientist, here's proof. It took the whole universe to make you.
Yeah.
So what do you want to worship?
Yeah.
Just one book?
Yeah.
I'm like, I think we can do better than that.
Yeah. So that you're saying that you're kind of, I guess, provide a modern roadmap for people trying to gain the benefits of a spiritual system without the pitfalls and the downfalls of like organized religion.
I'm simply saying, let's be honest with each other. Let's be rational. Let's be logical. Let's be scientific. And let's open ourselves to the mystery of the heart and ask honest questions. Who are we? What are we? How did we get here? What does it take to sustain us? And how many absolute mysteries are involved? I mean, science shows that if the conditions of the initial universe were even 1/100% different, we would not be alive.
It's crazy.
Right? When you look at the science behind this thing, there's, you either think everything's an accident and we're just lucky, which would be like standing next to a pile of rocks and hoping a Rolex watch jumped out, which would be a materialist.
Yeah.
Or you say there's some kind of intelligence behind this thing. And the biggest form of intelligence that we can come up with is a thing called God, because we don't have another name to give it. It just means something so wild I can't even put a name on it. So we'll just call it God. By definition, God means that for which there is no other. By definition, God is the only being that can create and sustain itself. None of us can do that, right? It takes a God to create and sustain itself. So when you really understand what the word God means, that's capital G, capital O, capital D. Capital G, little o, little d in Spiritism means the highest power of any belief system. This is why you've got a Christian God, a Muslim God, a this God, a that God, and they war like hell with each other. Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you call someone that's at war with themselves? Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, the God I'm talking about, that for which there is no other, is not at war with itself. Look up in the stars at night. You see nothing but harmony and beauty.
Yeah.
It's when you're lost and confused down here and you worship a God that'll burn you in hell and has all these rules and regulations, you realize, okay, we need to reevaluate our idea about God. So that's the difference between religion and spirituality. Religion is based on belief systems that are closed, and spirituality says, I'm on an open quest to explore what it is that creates me and how I can have a healthy relationship with it, and love and respect the fact that everything that's here was created by the same intelligence and I'm part of it. So why not love and respect it? I love the Sufis are the mystics of Islam. If you really want to understand religion, you always got to go to the mystics because they're the ones that broke out of the dogma and had their own religious experience. But the Sufis, the Sufi mystics say, there is no God but God. I worship everything and everyone. That is somebody that understands what God means. I got to go pee.
We'll do like a 10-minute wrap up. And I do have one more question for you.
Go for it, baby.
Are you, Josh, recording? All right. So, sorry, we had to take a pee break. My question is, and I think this kind of applies to religion, somehow organic farming, it all kind of ties together, where I feel like the reflex for kind of these like very restrictive religions and all this stuff, and even like kind of this like war with like weeds in the soil through like pesticides, it makes sense from like, if you think about our escape from nature, which was like a nightmare to live in the jungle, be getting mauled alive, like you going back way, 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 way. That's the conception I have. It was terrifying.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go talk to native cultures, it seems terrifying, but that was home for them. You see, if you go back to the point where we were living out in nature, we didn't see the animals out there as our enemies. We saw them as our family, and we had respect for grizzly bears. We had respect for poisonous snakes. We saw everything in nature as a being with its own intelligence. And so if you study native cultures, you'll see they studied these animals. They learned things like tool making from crows. I don't know if you know this, but crows have a brain that's as big as ours for body size, if not bigger. They have a language of over 400 words, and they have advanced tool making skills. And most people have no idea.
Yeah, I knew they could crack nuts. But I didn't know.
Oh, no, they can. I've seen film of crows hand making tools that are very complex. They can make tools more complex than chimpanzees can.
Damn.
And they've got a language of between 400 and 500 words. Okay, that's pretty impressive. But the point is, if you were living out there with them, you would learn about how spiders weave things. You would learn about how birds put nests together. You would learn how bears fish. I mean, if you actually were out there in nature, you'd realize that each of these beings has a level of intelligence and is doing something in nature that is important. There is no accidental beings out there. So if you live in reverence and you realize that taking more than is necessary is a threat to the existence of another being, then you don't just go rape all the bees for honey and steal all the eggs, because then you wipe out your own survival system. So those people did not have this us against nature. They were nature.
Yeah.
And it's only as the industrial age began to come on that we begun to shift our orientation to man against nature, which is largely we want more space to do what we want to do, right? And we want to take these people over so we can do what we want to do. So you'll see that as our technology and our tools got more and more advanced and we got more and more scientific, we started getting more and more disrespectful to what creates harmony in nature and more I-oriented, more what do I want, not how does that affect the rivers? How does that affect the oceans? I mean, so if you take that to now and say, well, look what we got. We got a bunch of germophobic people that are scared of the dirt, that poison everything they eat, that wash their hands with antibacterial soaps, that have wiped out their microbiomes, that have brains that are collapsing, that have kids that are sick, that have constantly got to take pills, who are at war with each other, who have an organization called the CIA that says our work will be done when no one knows what the truth is. Well, when your government has an agency whose mission it is to make sure nobody knows what the truth, you have to ask yourself, well, we got more or less intelligent?
Yeah.
Have we evolved or are we devolving? When we don't know the principles of nature and we're so seeding the eyes with the skies with aluminum and barium and trying to control the sun, and we're making fake global warming by billionaires to make the rich rich and the poor more poor. I mean, we've gotten so far from the truth of what life is and what it's all about that it's going to, and it is costing us dearly. The United States last year spent $3 trillion to manage diabetes. That's one illness.
Damn.
One illness. The United States defense budget, which is the most expensive in the world, is $1.9 trillion. We're spending $3 trillion a year to manage diabetes, which is a problem of eating food that is not high quality, that has no nutrition, and eating too much sugar, which is highly addictive. Sugar has been shown by Candace Pert to be as addictive as morphine and heroin, and it's laced in everything. It's in bacon, it's in meat. We've gotten to a level of trickery in business and in politics to the point that we can't trust each other anymore. How much money is being spent to turn our iPhones into spy devices, to turn our televisions into spy devices, to turn refrigerators and vacuums into spy devices. The NSA, Edward Snowden showed us the NSA has been collecting information on every one of us all the time. Like, we've actually got an autoimmune disorder, right? We've got enough nuclear weapons to destroy the planet 179 times over. So we've become so afraid of each other that we're actually spending all our time, energy, and money to defend ourselves against each other while destroying the very support systems that keep us alive. So you have to ask yourself, who had it better, the natives or us?
Yeah.
Natives thought 7 generations ahead. As a general rule of thumb, native societies thought, if we do this, will it enhance or diminish the next 7 generations of our people?
Yeah, we don't do that. Really.
We've got attention spans of about 3 minutes, and we don't think for 2 seconds about what's going to happen to our kids, or we would actually start paying attention to what we're feeding them and the fact that our education systems are absolute trash, and that we're putting pornography in the libraries for kids that are 3 and 3rd grade.
Yeah, they're doing that?
Oh, hell, all over the world. The globalists are absolutely dangerous as hell.
Yeah, that's the one thing I never understood why we don't have physical education first thing in the morning at every school. It should be every kid should like run around for like an hour, burn off energy.
You realize there's people all over the world that are confused as to what a woman is.
Yeah, true. That's
I mean,
another problem.
Like we have used science to validate every drug that's killed 20, 30, 40, 50,000, 100,000 people, only to have it taken off the market. But it was all scientifically validated. So we've turned science into a corporate prostitution ring.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is, if you really ask the question, was it that dangerous to live in nature when we had respect for nature and we lived in harmony with nature? Or is it that dangerous to live today where we're destroying nature and each other and call ourselves scientifically advanced? Well, as Steiner says, for every advance you make in science, you must make 3 advances in morality or you will destroy yourself. Well, ask yourself, from the time we were living in nature to the time to where we're at now, how many advances have we made in science and how many advances have we made in morality?
I'd say like 3 morality, probably like a bazillion in science.
Yes. Yeah. And so here we all are.
Yeah. Fuck,
watching
man.
each other all over the world destroy each other and calling ourselves Christians.
Yeah. Yeah, really. Well, God damn it, dude. That sums it up pretty well. I'll have to have you on again. I have like a million more
I
questions.
am at a
for you.
comedy store right
No, that's phenomenal, man. Thank you so much. Do you have anything you want to like? I mean, obviously, Spirit Gym.
MySpiritGym.com if you're interested in my mentorship program. CHEKinstitute.com if you want to see my education and all the online courses I have for various people. My How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy book can be bought on Amazon. It can be bought at the CHEK Institute. Our Holistic Lifestyle Coach Level 1 training program teaches you all the principles on how to eat, move, and be healthy, how to apply them in your life. So it's a public access program. Mm-hmm. And for those that want a career in holistic lifestyle coaching to teach other people how to get healthy and not spend all their money on managing diabetes and things like that, you would go to Holistic Lifestyle Coach Level 2, which is a professional training program. So it's like a career. Mm-hmm. And it goes from there. The CHEK Academy can be explored there. That's our 5-year academy program, which is a mix of online training and hands-on training. And it's multidisciplinary. So we have medical doctors, chiropractors, osteopaths, nurses, acupuncturists, strength coaches, personal trainers, massage therapists, and people just changing professions. It's a fully complete system of education. My YouTube channel, where I have about 1,200 videos I've done for public service on almost everything, which I think you've seen is...
Yeah, that's how I found you, just watching those.
Right. So it's youtube.com/Paul, CHEK Live, Paul Chek Live. So there's tons I put on. That's where I do my public service work. And say, look, if you've got plantar fasciitis here, this will help you. If you want to know how to get yourself healthy, do this. I've poured thousands of hours into doing that for the public. So those that can't afford me or want to get a taste before they spend money can go to YouTube. And my podcast is Spirit Gym with Paul Chek.
Okay.
And there's over 300 episodes with the greatest minds I can find all over the world. Scientists, doctors, metaphysical experts, religious experts, health experts, you name it. I go for the brains and the great ones that have good results and I believe are worth listening to. And I interview them and I do comprehensive long-form interviews. And for those that want the extended play, they can be a member of the podcast. So you can go to paulchek.com. Sign up for the podcast membership. I think it's less
workforce.
Yeah.
You got to keep, you got to manage some pretty wild women.
I don't know. I think maybe I could do it though. I'd probably just have to start doing a lot of cocaine.
Yeah. Are you worried that you might kind of like simp out to all the strippers working for you?
Nah.
I would simp.
Yeah,
dude. If I had like 12 strippers I had to maintain, I would simp.
If I had 12, I'd simp to maybe 2.
Yeah. But then the other ones would get jealous.
The rest I would treat so badly.
Yeah.
I'd be such a pimp. Yeah. That's always been a dream of mine, to just be like a horrible person, like a horrible pimp, you know?
Yeah, true.
I watch like movies where what was that show? Did you ever watch that show with
By the way, Ralph Abrosa, thanks for doing the podcast, bro. I'm terrible to introduce people.
Nah, no problem.
You the man. Let's talk about pimping though.
Yeah. What's that show with James Franco and who was it?
The Deuce.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, and they showed the pimps outside talking. Mm-hmm. Bro, that show made pimping look so cool.
Every show makes it look so cool.
But why is it such a frowned upon? Or I guess because they treat women so badly.
Yeah, like real bad. Did you ever read Iceberg Slim? I almost called him Ice T. Did you ever read Iceberg Slim's autobiography?
I bought the book and then I read like within the first chapter. I think the first chapter made me cry.
Yeah, dude, it's so sad.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
And I couldn't read on anymore.
You gotta get cold, man. Strengthen up that pimping though.
I feel like that's like, depending on where your state of mind is, that Iceberg Slim book could be like somebody's 48 Laws of Power.
Exactly, yeah. It can really get you. Although, dude, I don't know if anyone is built for that. If you got to find like a girl down on her luck, and then you got to convince her to go fuck guys for you for money.
People don't get mad if you pimp men.
No.
Like, if you think about it, good leadership, that's just being a good pimp.
True.
It's just working your men, and making them productive, getting in their head to make them the most productive.
Yeah, nobody talks about the pimps of male prostitutes. Are there pimps? Are male prostitutes just cowboys, or like are they arranged by like a strong, domineering man who like slaps them?
This is somebody who goes and slaps the old lady who doesn't want to pay.
Yeah. Well, male prostitutes pretty much only have sex with men.
What? Male prostitutes have sex with men?
Yeah, dude, that's like 95% of what they do.
I don't. How do you know that?
Because I thought about becoming a male prostitute when I was in college. I actually put out an ad on Craigslist being like, "Yo, I'm open for business." My friend told me, he's like, "Dude, male prostitutes."
Okay, well, if you're
just-
going off like Craigslist data,
Dude, I'm telling you, I think the real data is it's like prostitutes, men and women prostitutes, like 99, well, women prostitutes, 99.9, if not 100% of the time, service men, and male prostitutes also overwhelmingly service men. Gay men, obviously.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, women get to choose most of the time who they want to bang,
Exactly. So they're not calling. I mean, I think maybe like there's that whole idea. There's like gigolos that have sex, and I think it's like so rare. Because I thought I'd be out there just like banging fucking horny rich milfs, and it was just I literally got no.
You got no response?
No
Not even
response.
from men?
Not even from men.
That's gotta hurt, bro.
It did hurt, dude. It did.
Not even the men. Damn.
But dude, in college, I took my roommate's number, and I used like a prank I would do on people. I would put them on like Craigslist personals and just kind of like give them their number, and they get like weird phone calls. And I put my roommate's number up with this like story about how he was like a young gay college man who was like looking for an older, more experienced man because like these younger men didn't know. Like, really, like, dude, I like hit publish. His phone rang off the hook for real, like 12 hours.
Damn, bro. Good for
Nonstop.
him. What does he do now?
He's an accountant.
He's an accountant? He went for that? Bro,
He was pissed. He found out what I did to him, and he was like, "Don't ever do that ever."
even
again.
as a straight dude, I think knowing I could have had that much business as a
Bro, it didn't. And I built a nice narrative, though. I was like, I'm a young man looking for an older gay man who knows what he wants. And it was just nonstop.
bro, that dude could have killed it, and you could have just pimped him,
That's what I'm saying.
make some money.
I should have had more of a business mind about it, man, because I could have put him out there and made a lot of money on him.
I think that and this is what do you call it? This is very dude-ish.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like misogynistic, but whoever started strip clubs, like, man, like I got like hats off to that guy.
Yeah.
Because this guy saw women, or who knows, I don't know history that well. Could have been a male strip club, the first one, right? But this guy saw
Greeks, yeah.
Yeah.
Greeks.
this guy saw somebody and was like, "Oh man, that's hot. Look how
Yeah.
she moves, right?" And then he noticed that other guy is also like that, and so he's just like, "People will pay money for this.
Yeah.
Like, let's put this in a building."
Yeah, because it was brothels. And yeah, some guy was like, "Yo, hold on. No. Don't fuck these guys." Like, well, you kind of can if they were, if we can figure out something. But it was like, yeah, just have them dance. It's a good idea.
Make more money off the temptation.
Yeah.
And then, all right, so then you're a strip club owner, right? I wonder when the first strip club happened, or like what?
I'd be curious too.
1800s,
I'm guessing. I think so.
some sort of version of
It was brothels. I feel like they're probably kind of modern.
it went from brothels to strip clubs.
I think, although people always had dancing girls. So I don't know. Like, when's the first one who kind of like industrialized the dancing girls? 1947.
All right, so 1947, right? And then let's
Pretty
say
recent.
from 47 to like 48, 49, 50s, people, you got your successful strip clubs here and there, right? And you're a business Mongol. You're just this titan in the strip club industry, and you're looking for the next best thing, the next best stripper. And out of nowhere, you see a woman twerk. Whoa,
Yeah.
that's got to be like seeing the first alley-oop.
True. That is big. Like, holy fuck, I didn't think about that.
This guy sees a woman twerk.
Do you think you think strip clubs were like in America, they were like mostly like almost like the sportswear, like very white, and then like black ladies and other ladies like hit the strip clubs and everyone's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think probably when black ladies hit strip clubs, that was when like black dudes hit the NBA and
Yeah,
the
it was the
NFL.
same time, and everyone's
Yeah.
just like, what the
All the white
fuck?
women were like, "Fuck, she's taking all our fucking tips. Like, I can't even do that thing that she's doing." And they're just humping the ground trying to twerk.
Yeah, man, that must have been kind of crazy. I can't imagine what it would have been. Like a strip club in 1940 would have been, or 1947, 1950 would have been crazy.
I think it's crazy to think of like how did twerking even start? And I know somebody's gonna hear this and be like, "This is such a dude conversation." But like I said, maybe a man first twerked.
True,
You know? Maybe
true.
it was a man they were trying to tame at first, and draft to their strip club. But like, how do you even think of that?
How do you first? Yeah, it's actually I would imagine Black Lady started it, and it's like because I feel like they did it back in like the juvenile videos, in the early 2000s.
I mean, they were definitely the ones with the goods, you know.
Yeah,
Anybody's
yeah,
gonna start
true.
twerking. It was
White
them.
ladies just figured out kind of how to do it. And,
Yeah, I've watched like old movies. Like, you ever seen Roadhouse?
yeah, I have. Yeah,
And you remember that girl who like she's like the girlfriend of what's his name, the bad guy? I don't remember his name.
yeah. I remember Patrick Swayze's a good guy. It was one of those
Yeah.
movies I saw too, where I kind of was like in and out of it, but I
The
definitely watched it.
the young blonde chick. She's like the hot chick of the whole movie, and she's like dancing all sexy. She doesn't twerk once.
Not at
That
all.
was the sexiest of dancing at those times. I imagine.
It
you know?
was, dude. Yeah, it was. It was like a skinny white lady with a flat butt, kind of just like sliding up and down.
Yeah.
Pole. There's no acrobatics to it.
Yeah, and then I don't know. I don't know if it was just like the '90s or somewhere. Like would you say with Juvenile, right? Early
Mm-hmm.
2000s, late '90s. Black ladies just changed the game,
They really did take over.
and I'm just glad that like, well, I don't know. I haven't done too much research on it, but I'm just glad that nobody's ever tried to stop other races from twerking. 'Cause, you know, this is very touchy these days. The cultural appropriation,
Yeah.
stealing culture vulture and whatnot. But that one right there is like,
That's a gift. Yeah, that's a gift to humanity. Yeah, you can't guard that.
yeah,
I agree. And yeah, and it's like I feel like I don't know. I feel like Black ladies kind of like if anyone like tries to twerk, even like a white lady, they'll kind of like encourage her.
Yeah.
What I've seen, they'll like. I mean, they might laugh, kind of tease a little bit, but just a little hazing.
yeah,
So like, they'll give up the goods. They'll teach you how to do it.
bro.
If you want to learn, they will teach you.
I don't want to learn, but onto we're talking about like business, entrepreneurs and stuff. I might be able to start like the first school of twerking, or I'm sure there has to be one by now already.
Maybe you can start it up. You can run it.
But yeah, I can have one. There's probably
Yeah.
not many of them.
No, like, yeah, there's like pole dance classes. If you started like a straight up twerking class,
Yeah, just go
For
to like
sure.
a nice gentrified neighborhood.
yeah, you would get it. You might have to like soften the blow by being like, we're a pole dancing place, but we have a twerking class within that.
I'll be like, there's no men here. It's like contactless boxing. You ever see there's boxing classes where they,
Oh,
they
yeah,
just
we're just
train,
kinda-
but
yeah.
they never fight.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no penises around. Just come
Yeah.
twerk.
Get in
And,
shape.
just so we don't get canceled, we'll have to probably take on a few men as clients, but
They would hit. There's always like two guys in like a.
I don't mind watching 2-3 guys shake their asses as long as it comes with like the business of all these other women shaking their asses.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It'd be good for you, kind of having like two guys there. I'd imagine they'd be gay guys too. So that'd be good.
maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
I could see the ad for it now, like the commercial. It's just like a successful stripper with like a bunch of money down her waistline. And she's just twerking. She's like, "Thanks, Ralph Barbosa School of
Oh,
Twerking."
you're going like more technical school.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
And then the guy she's dancing on is also like, "And thanks from me too, Ralph." Like,
Yeah, if you're going to go the vocational route, what do you think about? I don't know the legality of this, but doing like kind of like a in school, like taking it to the high schools. That way they get like the best shot.
no.
Becoming professional. No, I'm saying for like the economic advantage.
You see, bro, that's the beginning of my downfall of my business. I start thinking I'm just fucking weirdo who wants to get high school girls. Like, hey, how about you put on this cheerleading outfit while you do it?
I'm
Like,
talking about I would look. I didn't want to do that, but I'm saying if you're saying going vocational, like they have like you can learn to be like a hairdresser, like take these like true vocations.
no, you must be at least 21.
You could keep the safety gloves on. You could be like fully clothed, like just kind of doing like Pilates, just getting them ready, just building them up.
I don't want to do this business no more. You've ruined my American dream.
I didn't say you should. I was saying what if I would. That'd be crazy.
Just want to own
Could you
a
imagine the
rental
weird
property
Yeah.
now.
Could you imagine the weird illegalities and gray areas you'd get into?
Bro, yeah, never mind. I'm glad you poked a hole in this dream. This
No, you can still do it. You just got to stay out of the schools. College, you can get like an elective in college. That'd be cool.
No, I'm done. I'm just gonna go to a strip club and just enjoy that.
There is something very nice about just giving a beautiful woman money. Just being like, here, I want you to have this.
Yeah,
You're beautiful and you're naked, and I think you should have. I work hard for this, and I really want you to have it.
it's easy to give money to people when they're naked.
Yeah.
Even homeless people. You see a naked homeless guy approach you, you're just like, bro, take it.
Yeah, get
Fucking
outta here.
Fuck off. please.
I saw a lady walking down the street. I don't think she was homeless. But there was like this Indian lady just had her tits out. Just
Damn.
walking down the street, smiling, just kind of like, I think she was making like a statement. There's a big like women's liberation movement where they should be able to show their tits in public.
That's a liberation movement.
Yeah, because it's like, dude, think about how unfair that is, dude. We can take our shirts off in public.
We can. I
Yeah,
don't think
dude.
we can.
Yes, you can.
Wait, like in,
Anywhere.
to a certain degree. I'm pretty sure if I walk into CVS, they're gonna be like, "Whoa, what the fuck you doing, bro?"
They will, but if you can walk down the street,
Yeah,
you can work a construction job, you can be a roofer and have your shirt off all day. A woman can never take her shirt off
You
outside.
can't take your shirt off during a construction job.
Yes, you can.
No, you cannot.
Dude, you know how many guys work shirtless?
When's
in
the last time
construction?
you worked
I
construction?
grew
bro?
up working construction. I did it my whole life.
This isn't like a YMCA video. Like,
I'm telling you, dudes do it. There's roofers that are just. I think now there's a lot of safety in construction now, but back in the day, there were dudes in like the early 90s and 80s who didn't wear a shirt every day.
look, bro, maybe you grew up in this shirtless America of men. But I'm telling you right now, it's dying out.
It is dying out.
And
It is dying
women might as well not even fight for it either.
out. Why?
and then we're not even gonna like. You ever go a long time without seeing boobs, and then you see boobs? You're gonna lose that excitement because they're gonna be everywhere.
That's
I'll tell you
true.
what's gonna happen.
That's true.
Women's liberation. They're gonna liberate a whole bunch of male. What do you call it? You can't get hard.
Yeah, ED.
ED, erectile dysfunction. That's all that. That's to me, women's liberation just equals erectile dysfunction.
I think you're so right, dude.
And as Republican as that sounds, I just want people to know I haven't voted, so don't start thinking. But no, come on.
I know what you're saying. This goes beyond politics. If you're seeing titties all day, every day, it does fucking. And also the bra like protects them.
Yeah.
It fights gravity for a while.
Imagine all the mosquitoes and bug bites you're gonna have on your boobs. It's gonna be rough. You ever seen?
It was stabilizing to see a lady with just her tits out in public. I was like, what the fuck? It was crazy. If you imagine that times 40, it's like my days. You're living in a different world now.
But I'm not. At the same time, I'm not like totally against it. There should be like an assignment from birth. Like there's a certain percentage of all men and a certain percentage of all women should be assigned to be shirtless in life.
Nah, I like this.
And if they want shirts, they gotta like petition for it, file paperwork and stuff, you know. And or people who do art shirts in the world and they want to become skins, they also got to do the paperwork.
True, you can go back and forth.
Yeah,
Damn, it'd be sick if you had a skins family.
there should be just random rules like that on this.
I would like that.
Just random like, and then there'd be like movements for it. They'd be like, I don't want to be a skin ever again. Or there's people that'd be like, we should all be skins, like skin America, like.
Yeah, true. That would be shirts and skins would be a great move. I used to always love when I played basketball and I'd get called like my half of the team, like you guys are skins. I'd be like, yes.
Hell yeah.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
Wearing a penny, I'd be like, come on, man. That shit sucked. Did you play basketball growing up?
Yeah, we used to play a lot at a school, at an elementary school near my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, we there's like a lot of older dudes like when we were maybe like 10, 12, there's a lot of teenagers that would come from the apartments down the street though and just kind of like take over.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got
Shit
pretty
sucked.
good, so I got to like stay. But my friends, they sucked.
They had to go.
Yeah, I mean we were all Mexican, me and my friends, and so I mean there wasn't much skill there anyway.
Yeah.
But I was probably the most skilled of Mexicans. I don't know if
Really?
that makes me the least Mexican of them, because I was the only one good at basketball.
Yeah, you don't see a lot. You don't see a lot of Mexican basketball players. Now
You
that I
don't,
think about it.
yeah. But I got to stay. I was never that good at soccer though.
Really? Yeah.
And that, yeah.
Well, you're playing basketball, totally different thing.
But I had a very what do you call it? Like head first mentality. So like if I did go play soccer, I wasn't afraid to kind of just dive for shit, just run in there.
You had a head first. Yeah, it's literally a head first mentality.
Literally head first, yeah.
Damn. So
And-
you were just jumping in. You didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Should have played football.
Bro, anytime the soccer ball came to me, I just kicked the shit out of it. That
That's
was
a good
like,
move.
Yeah.
Did you play defense or offense or just ripped?
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Just
you guys
went
was
at
playing.
it. Yeah.
That's a good move, just to kick the ball as hard as you can.
Yeah. I tried to sign up for football once, but man, my coach, I mean, he was right. But I was in the 7th grade, and at the end of the school year, they let you sign up for 8th grade football. And my PE coach was like, hell no. Like, this
He let
guy-
you do it?
Yeah. Because I was like kind of a troublesome kid in his class.
Yeah,
PE. I would never dress out for PE. Like when they made us wear like shorts and shirts and stuff. I would like sometimes change, right? Wear like
You want to get changed?
yeah, I just like because we'd be dumb. We'd wear like the shorts, but then not the shirts. We'd still wear like our school polo.
Yeah.
Or sometimes we just take off like the polo and just wear a white tee and like, all right, we changed, but we just want to hurry up and start playing whatever. We somebody one time just gave me like a lot of dice. I don't remember how I got it. It was like a box of dice, like, all wrapped in little plastic baggies, like they sell them or something. And so I started bringing them to school, and one of the kids taught us how to shoot dice, and the coach caught us with those a couple times. He was just like, man, like, what the fuck is y'all's problem?
Yeah, what the fuck are you guys doing? I
Yeah,
mean, not taking off the shirt would drive me crazy. If I was doing a gym class and you put on the shorts, I'm like, bro, why won't you put your fucking shirt on? What is this?
I think we just like being trolls.
It is fun. I was very bad in school, especially health classes. The teacher I had older brothers, and my older brother's like, dude, that guy's a fucking bitch. Fuck that guy. So I went in like, I'm going to fuck this guy's shit up.
Yeah.
And I did. I would fuck with him. I went to an all boys Catholic high school. So we would like be in the, this is fucked up. We'd be in
I'm
the locker
noticing
room.
that there's like a heavy man pattern in your life.
Oh yeah.
Heavy men, smell, prostitution, shirtless male.
It's just dude. It's so I'm so it's crazy. I'm so masculine.
Catholic male school.
All boys. You know how fucked up it is to like separate a young boy from women for like 4 years, basically.
That's horrible.
It's weird, dude.
What did you do to deserve that? You know.
I don't know.
And then did you have sisters?
Yeah, I did. I had 2 little sisters.
And then how many brothers?
I have 2 older brothers and 1 little brother.
Yeah, okay, male-dominated siblings.
Yeah, my dad's 1 of 10, mostly men as well.
Did you in health class? Did they ever give you guys the baby to take care of?
No, bro. No, I went to all boys school.
That's very realistic. Then they're like, that's a fucking woman's job. Like, why would we give you guys that?
No, we never had that, dude. But we had our gym teacher, who was also the health teacher, would come when we were getting changed, and he would be like, you guys got to get naked and hit the shower. And I'd always be like, I'm not getting naked and get in the fucking shower. I'll just be sweaty.
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
It was really
especially as a
intense.
kid, yeah.
It was really intense. But what he would do when the prayer would come on, everyone would have to stop what they were doing. So when the prayer came on, I would just pull my pants down a little bit and just show my ass. So I'd keep my ass out for the prayer. And every time I'd be like, dude, you told me to stop. I was getting naked to hit the shower. And the prayer came on. He would get so mad.
Wait, how often would you guys pray?
It would like come on, I think at the beginning of every period, like some different like prayer would come on. You have to stop for it, and they would do like a.
That's got to be weird if it comes on while everybody's in the showers.
Yeah, that would be nuts.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about Catholic school though.
It was just, it was like, they stopped hitting kids like when I was in like 1st grade.
That's where they fucked up.
Yeah, they should have kept it up.
Did they hit you in kindergarten?
I got smacked by a principal once, and then I had a priest in high school who hit my head into a chalkboard.
What?
But I had said something about his knee. He was kind of like fucking around. Actually, it turned out he actually had some pretty heavy charges against him later on for kid stuff. But
Just beating up kids? Or
no,
like
for loving them too
diddling?
much. Yeah,
Diddling?
loving them.
Damn.
It was kind of, he had a hate-love relationship with kids, but
Bro, that's fucking...
but he had a niece, and I remember his niece was like our age, and I kept saying I was like bringing his niece to the prom. I didn't know the lady, but I was like, I'm gonna bring your niece to the prom and give her ecstasy. I didn't even know what ecstasy was.
Bro, that's...
But I like said it to the priest.
This sounds like a good
He
time.
grabbed my head. It was awesome, dude. All boys school was fun as shit. Imagine
I mean, like taking the niece to the prom
I know,
on the X.
I know, but
Like,
yeah,
I'm going to teach your niece how to twerk.
yeah, true.
Fucking, what is that?
He literally grabbed my head and went bonk into the chalkboard, and I was like, all right, my bad.
Damn.
I deserve that.
Yeah, that'll teach you some respect, bro.
It did. I grew up getting hit, so it was like, no, it was,
Where is this at?
this was outside of Philadelphia.
Oh, shit.
So this was I went to school in Wilmington, Delaware.
Oh, okay.
But you guys were holding down the front, no shirts.
You guys? Who's you guys?
Your
Me?
school. I'm saying
My
your school. The thing you did to
Oh.
your teacher was not
Well,
put on the shirt.
I mean, we had shirts. We just didn't have like the shirt.
You wouldn't put on the shirt. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to bring the
I don't
conversation
like
back
you,
to you.
picturing me shirtless as a kid, man. Like,
I'm not picturing you shirtless as a kid.
You got issues, bro.
No, I'm saying you guys wouldn't wear the gym shirt.
Sometimes.
I'm picturing you in a polo buttoned up to the top, your hair combed over, like an angel.
Yeah, I'm just like in a little polo and then just some shorts.
What else were you bad at? Like, what else did you do? What was the worst thing you did as a kid?
One time I broke into a house.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
So it's like me and a couple kids that I went to middle school with. We skipped school one day, and we broke into a dude's house that my friend said he knew. Supposedly it was his buddy. I was like, bro, I don't want to hang out with you anymore after the day. Like,
He's broke into his friend. You take anything?
Nah. Supposedly that guy had like weed in there, and I guess in my mind I was like, oh, we'll take the weed and
Yeah.
and then we'll be rich. I don't know how much weed went for. I was like
Yeah.
12 or 13. I was just like a lot, you know. We're gonna be like, what's that? We're gonna be like that movie Blow. I just kept imagining that. And we looked around in there, but I started feeling really weird being in there.
Yeah.
And then they called me to the kitchen. They're like, yo, come over here. And I went over there, and like I didn't grow up like poor or nothing, but for some reason I had never seen Nutella before, and none of my friends had either.
Yeah.
And so they were like, look at this, like try it. And so we discovered Nutella. We're just like, oh shit, like this is good.
That's huge.
Yeah. And so we just sat there eating like Nutella with like their bread or like their Nutella snack packs, like. And we heard somebody getting home.
How'd you get in, first of all? Before I don't want to.
I actually found a way in through the back.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, my friend was like, most of the time, front doors just open, like in some of these houses. This guy had he had an MO, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, I'll try the back. Because I used to get locked out of my house a lot. So I figured out little ways. And I was like, this window reminds me of my window, you know?
Yep.
But yeah,
They pulled up on you?
yeah, I heard people get in there, and I always, this is like dumb, because I always thought like this was like an act of bravery, like I deserved some sort of medal. But then at the end of the day, it's like I was just the bravest criminal that day. But when we're in the kitchen eating the Nutella, and I heard somebody approaching the door, I ran to the front door to like lock it, and
Locked them out of their house.
yeah, because they had a deadbolt.
Yeah, yeah.
And my friends ran to the back door. Like it just was like we just froze, looked at each other, and then everybody ran. And there was like 3 or 4 friends that ran out the back. So I ran and I locked the door, and then I ran out the back and I closed the back door so hard that it didn't even like close.
Yeah, it just bounced. Yeah.
It was like because it was like a sliding door, so it just like slid and then boom, like slid back open. And I just ran for my life, and I was just so scared.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's the day I realized, like, bro, I'm a little bitch. Like, I'm not cut out for.
Well, they
gangster
came
life.
home and just saw their bread just crushed and the Nutella out. They're probably like, "What the fuck?"
Man, so we went to my buddy's house who lived not too far from there, and we'd take little peeks where we'd walk down to that street just to see if like there was cops.
Yeah, yeah.
But they never called the cops. I think whoever there was just like fucking raccoons. You got in here,
For real,
like-
that'd be like an animal got into my house. I had kids burglarize me one time where I was like living in this house in West Philly, and it was a bad neighborhood, and I didn't have like a back door on the house. There was just this like, I don't know if you how to describe it. Like, you know, in stores and they have like a it's like a gate, but it's like it's just like metal slats against each other, like crisscrossed.
Yeah,
It's supposed to be like outside of a door. It was just that. So like I had that thing and I had a chain around it, kind of keeping it tight. But there was like, if you were little enough, you can get in. I had kids, they like stole my change. Broke into my house, stole all. I had so much fucking change, and they stole my change, and I was like, all right, fair enough.
Out of all the things, that's what they got.
Exactly. I had like a gun in my house too, so I'm glad they didn't get that.
They're like those little kids remind me of like Robert De Niro in Heat, or they knew what they were going after.
They
just
did.
the bonds.
They did,
you know?
dude. They wanted the change to get the candy. Yeah,
They
it was
knew
like,
our response time to it 2:11. They had our response time clock.
yeah. I remember being like, no adult could have fit through that little, and I was like, motherfucker, it was those kids.
Bro, you got to get a BB gun and shoot the kids.
Yeah, I've thought about paintball gun. Paintball gun would be
Oh,
nice.
yeah,
I knew it. There was a guy I knew who had like, he was like an HVAC guy, and he had this like big yard in this area outside of Philadelphia called Chester, and it's like a really fucked up area. And so if you have a yard in Chester, it's like you'd have like scrap metal and shit. So people would break in, take your scrap metal. So he started a Friday tradition where he would sit on the roof and just drink beer with a paintball gun. And just let the sun, as soon as the sun would set, people would start coming over the fence, and he would just fucking light them up from the roof. It's pretty fun.
Hell yeah.
And within his right. It was within his right. But people would think they were really getting shot and be like, oh, because they hurt, man. They fucking hurt.
Now they do. The first time I ever went paintballing, I got shot right in my left nut.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think
There's like one kid from every group who gets shot in the nuts.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
it might have
happen.
been my right one. I just remember it was like I took my pants off and you just see like a dead
Check.
circle right on the nut. That was the first time and the dude cheated because at that place they were like, I was the only kid there though. It was like a bunch of adults and like my uncles and stuff. And they told us that if you're within like 10 feet or so, just yell surrender. And whoever yells it first, it's like they got the shot.
Yep.
And I remember like my mask is all foggy. I'm like
can't see
sweating.
shit.
Yeah. And I'm like trying to shoot this guy. I see him running from right to left and he keeps going. I'm like, fuck, man. And then I see another guy. I'm trying to shoot this guy. And then I'm like, wait, what happened to the first guy? And I'm like, oh, he's behind me, I bet. And I turn around and then he's right there and just close as hell, just shoots me. I'm like,
Oh, man.
I went down. I just felt like throwing up.
Oh, he probably felt bad.
Hell no. He just kept going.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, war is hell,
Not,
man.
not to pull a race card, but you know how you white guys are. You get fucking guns and
bro.
tactical and shit. This
I
guy
was
had
about to
full
say,
camo, bro.
I did paintball, and I totally disobeyed the mercy rule. I would hop a log, and there'd be a guy right there, and I'd be like, pop, pop, pop.
After
point
that,
blank.
bro, I turned into a little monster. I was like, fuck the mercy rule. Like I started doing.
That's how I played originally. That's fuck the mercy rule.
I started.
It's so exciting to shoot somebody with that gun. So if I get within range, I'm not going to be like, oh, okay, I'm fucking unloading.
bro,
on
I
him.
started playing so dirty. Like,
Did you really?
when there'd be refs in there, like
You shoot the ref?
Nah, I would hide behind them sometimes. I just run up like near them and just like, pop, 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 like
That's your human shield. Yeah, when you get hit, dude, it fucking hurts, man. It hurts enough to be like, all right, there is some consequence to this game.
hell yeah,
Because I've got like popped over the mask, but in the fucking head, and that hurts.
dude. You got to have pain in life though. Like
You do.
every now and then.
You do.
You ever go just months without any type of pain, not even stubbing your toe?
Yes,
you start to get depressed.
Dude, this literally just happened to me. I had it so easy for like 3.5 months, and then I literally got depressed.
Yeah.
I just got out of it like 2 days ago.
And then somebody punches you in the face one day, you're like, I'm alive.
Yeah, dude, I'm feeling stuff.
You got to go paintballing or you got to do something. There used to be a
I
place.
did a water slide. I took an edible and hit some water slides, and that like I scraped my. You know when a water slide and you try to slow it down like a bitch, and then your like your elbow scrapes.
Nah, I'm a pretty little dude. I've never even had trouble slowing down. It just I never went that fast in the first place.
Really?
Yeah,
Dude, I was hitting them and just kind of like, because I haven't rode a water slide since I was a kid, so I was like, dude, I'm gonna champ these, and I was like for real scared.
You ever see that video? This is always gonna be one of my proudest moments. I didn't do anything. I was just there.
Mhm.
But during Bert Kreischer's Fully Loaded tour last year in 2023, we had a water slide, and somebody got a bag of ice water and dumped it on Mark Norman, and then he started like yelling and spinning, and then somebody else, I forgot who threw it. It might have been Bert, threw a little Nerf football we had, and it hit him right in the nuts right after. That was hilarious. I bet you he was so.
You're proud of that too. That's your proud.
I just like just watching that.
That is
just
a sick
getting to see
moment,
it. Yeah, like that's a guy who's not gonna be depressed for a while. You know,
True. Ice water and hitting the nuts will definitely wake
back
you
to
up.
back. That was hilarious,
Dude, I fell. When's the last time you fell?
bro. Not that long ago, but it was a very uncomfortable fall.
Yeah, dude.
I think
what happened? What
if
was
I
the
would have fell on
circumstance?
my ass, I would have been like, "Oh, it hurt," but then I'd be like, "That was funny." But I was walking upstairs and I did one of those face forward, hit my
Yeah.
knee into the stair fall. I'm just like, that's such a like a grown man fall, like middle-aged man fall. Just like, oh god damn it, like motherfucker. Like, I just wanted to blame a kid. Like,
I fell recently going to the bathroom at night and like it's like pitch black and I forgot I had to travel, so I had like my suitcase out, tripped over my suitcase. I'm naked and I just fell like down, like you were saying, on your belly, not on your back. I fell belly down and just laid like on my
you have a
suitcase.
shirt on?
I was naked. I was sleep
oh
naked.
shit, fool.
I was,
You sleep naked?
yeah, I'm sleep naked. I was,
The deeper we go on this podcast, bro, the deeper we go into your
you don't sleep naked?
nah, bro.
Why?
I don't know.
Someone breaks in, you get to mad dog them naked, and it's fucking
I guess that's a good defense mechanism.
yeah. What do you do? Do you like classic PJs?
Nah, I don't do that either. Like, what do you mean? What's classic PJs to you with the little
Stripey-
hat? With the little- I can't believe people were using that at one point.
Well, if you didn't wear the hat, you'd probably die. You get like catch a cold.
What? That was why they wore hats?
I don't know if I clue, but like
It's just crazy.
I would imagine because it was cold. They didn't have like heat like that, so you'd have to wear like a little snow cap.
I'll just die instead of look like a little bitch.
That's what I'm saying, man.
They were wearing those little weird elf hats.
Dude, I feel the same way about bike helmets.
But yeah,
Fuck that. I see people with adults with bike helmets. I'm like, bro.
I would wear one if it got to be like painted like candy or something, or like some sweet paint job.
True.
Where it's like the mouth. It's like,
That would be sick.
nah,
Change colors when you went by.
But I probably would never ride a motorcycle. I don't like those motorcycles where they got like the saddles on the side and then like the big windshield, like the cop one.
Yeah.
That's like the minivan of motorcycles.
It is, dude. You might as well just
Get a fucking car.
yeah. You
don't
have
want-
saddlebags and a windshield.
Yeah, bro.
Damn, that's gonna hit my dad hard. My dad rocks.
your
his
dad rocks
saddlebags.
that? Damn,
He
bro.
does. He had the regular ones, and then you get old. And
Where's
he's
your
like,
dad out in Philly?
yeah, he grew up in Philly and then moved to Havertown. Or he was like Philly when he was little and grew up in Havertown. So yeah, that whole area. the Philly
Philly's like
area.
a tough town, though. I wouldn't make fun of your dad. I'll take that back.
No.
Matt's
He
dad.
needs to hear that.
needs to
I'm
hear
telling him
that.
too. He's driving around. He needs to take that bug windshield off and just eat those things.
Bro, just
Saddlebags. But he would like drive his motorcycle. That was like the one thing he would be like. We go to a restaurant. He's like, I'm gonna ride my motorcycle. I'll meet you there. So that was like his like slice of freedom.
hell yeah.
And he's got older. You like go to like pick stuff up at the store and you throw it in the saddlebags and ride back.
Did he is he still with your mom?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
All right. So yeah, he probably needed that, bro.
yeah. You need that break.
Hell yeah.
And the windshield. I could see the windshield after some time. Did you ever ride a motorcycle before?
Yeah, I have a dirt bike.
Oh yeah,
Pretty sick.
Fuck, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, bro. No windshield.
That's the rawest motorbike you can get possibly. So you're at like the absolute top of the hierarchy in terms of like being sick on it.
Well, not necessarily. It's a 125cc, so it's like training wheels of dirt bikes.
Have you ridden on like the highway and stuff?
Nah.
Dude, it's scary. I took I forget what it was, like a 325, if that's a thing. Like, yeah, I think it was a Yamaha Nighthawk. And I'd never really ridden motorcycles. And I still don't now. But like my brother showed me how to do it, and I like took that thing on the highway.
You're
Dude,
scared?
Yeah, I was scared as fuck, man.
Yeah.
Dude, I was going over this bridge and trucks would pass me, and it was like they were saying it's not a heavy enough bike. So when a truck goes by you on the highway, the breeze pushes your bike over.
Oh shit.
She was fighting those big, like, those big, like, buckles in the middle of a bridge? There's like big
Yeah.
metal grates. I'd hit them and be like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been scared.
You don't think you've been scared? Take it on the highway right now.
All right. I'll do it, bro.
Do it, dude.
Tell your brother to bring it right now.
I will. I'll get the Yamaha Nighthawk, dude.
As far as the people listening to this podcast go, just know that I will ride that bike. And
On the highway.
yeah.
125 on the highway, man. You need something heavy.
Have you ever gone 125?
I've ridden dirt bikes when I was little. Yeah, we used to ride them around, just like buzz around the house.
Oh, no. I thought you were talking about miles per hour.
Oh, hell no, dude.
You've never gone 125 miles per hour?
On a dirt bike?
In
No.
anything?
In a car, yeah.
In a car, yeah? What are you driving?
I don't think I got up to 125 in a car. I take that back. I hit in like 107.
What are you driving? Like a Honda Odyssey?
Yeah, like some bullshit. Yeah.
You're just running late to something?
Just trying to. No, when you're little, remember you're a teenager, you're like, we're gonna go 100 miles an hour on the highway.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Just trying to go as fast as possible.
Yeah, we had an Acura TL for a while.
They're fast as hell.
Yeah, that was tight.
You did 125 in a car?
One car I did like in two cars actually I did 160 something.
You're a car guy.
Yeah, I like cars.
You did 160?
Yeah,
Where?
on the highway.
So you wouldn't be afraid on the bike. I don't know, dude. You take
I
away
think
those walls,
the
though.
bike, yeah, the walls are.
And you can imagine if you could see the ground.
Yeah, no, I don't want to see the
It
ground.
fucks you up,
Yeah,
dude. You're
fuck that.
going like 80 and you see the ground. It's just it's literally a blur.
Nah, I feel like the bike is just way more scarier for real. Like
It is,
one false move, it's
Dead.
like
You're dead.
yeah. And then I grew up playing Grand Theft Auto, so like you know how many times I was riding that bike and then I hit a car and I just fly, or you know what I mean? Like fuck that. But in
Yeah,
a
the
car, yeah.
160 is fucking fast, man.
Yeah, 160 is pretty fast.
That's when like things start like they're like 200 yards away and it's like they're right at you.
Yeah, they look like they're barely even moving the cars. Like they're still moving, but they look more
Yeah.
closer to being still.
Are you still about that speed life? Or are you slowing down? Because that's like, bro, you're flirting with disaster. 160 is like
Nah, this was like
you want an
last.
untimely celebrity death?
This was like last week, bro.
What?
Yeah,
Are you gunning for like an untimely like James Dean?
nah, but I do want to hit 180. I've always wanted to hit 180.
Just that's the goal?
yeah,
And you're talking about on the street, not like a track.
nah, yeah, on the street. I would like to
Sick.
hit a track and see what that's like, because I feel like that's where you get to really see what your car's about. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
When they got like those little circuits and all that, and they
Yeah.
get to see what their fastest lap time is. That's got to be sick. I want to see like if a car that not that I build from the ground up, but if a car that I somewhat build could like.
What era that would be actually cool as hell. What era do you like specialize in? I saw you had some like it looks almost like I guess they're classic cars. They're 20 years old, right?
Some of them, I don't know what you saw, but
I saw you had a thing on Instagram where you had like it almost reminded me of like a LeSabre or something, one of those, but you really like cleaned it up.
we buy them and sell them a lot.
Do you really?
My dad and I, yeah.
That's
like
fucking sick.
so we like there's a few that I will never sell.
Yeah.
But there's a couple that I'm like, I just kind of wanted to drive it for a while and then I'll sell it and buy something else.
What's your like? So what like era of car do you like? Do you like restore them? You're saying?
Not necessarily restore them. I just like, and that's something I didn't know about myself until I started being able to actually buy the cars. is
Oh, yeah.
I don't like the collectible ones that hold their value as long as you never touch them.
Yeah.
But I do like some of those, but maybe like with more mileage, something I could like change stuff in.
Yeah.
I also like sleeper cars. I actually won a Camaro. I won a 2019 Camaro in a game of horse. Just high stakes horse games.
What?
Yeah, that's the life of Ralph Barbosa, baby.
Horse? You're like basketball horse?
Yeah.
What? You took someone's pink slip in horse? What was the winning shot?
Just a jump, bro. I have a cold jumper, like a mid-range jumper.
Yeah, that's good. That's
And
nice to have.
Most people like maybe they could make one or two, but if you go from maybe like a repeat spot,
Yep.
bro, they'll miss. They'll miss before I miss for sure.
Yeah, you're talking about just within the key, kind of that like 5 to 7 foot jumper.
Yeah,
It's a good move.
good, bro. And
Damn, you took someone's Camaro.
yeah, and the risk was I lose an '88 Super Sport Monte Carlo I had, but I was trying to get rid of that car anyway because the car was in just like mint condition and maybe like 24,000 original miles on it. But like I said, like it was only going to keep its value if I just kept it so clean.
Yeah, what's the point? Yeah.
So then I had been looking to buy like a 2016, 2017 Chevy SS. You ever see those?
Yeah.
And I wanted one of those because they look like a Malibu, but they got the 6.2.
Do they have the stripes and everything or no?
I don't know if some of them come with stripes, but anyway,
You wanted one?
I wanted one because I felt like that was a cool daily driver car.
Mhm.
It looks like something you totally underestimate, and it draw way less attention. But if you needed to smoke somebody, you could.
True, yeah.
So I got that Camaro, and I was like, all right, well, I'll get the Camaro and I'll get the title transferred under my name, and then I'll go if I ever find the Chevy SS, like at a used dealership or something, I can go trade it in. But the dude who showed me Chevy SS is a mechanic dude I know named Jacob. He was selling his around that time, like literally the week after I got the Camaro. I think he took it to Race Week where they go like city to city, like to different drag strips, and he kept finding air tags on it where people wanted to track it to go steal it.
What?
Yeah, and he just had his son, so he just was like, man, I don't want people trying to steal my shit, especially if I got my son with me. So he's like, I'm just gonna sell it, and I was like, bro, I'll trade you the Camaro and some cash, and he's like,
Nice.
fucking done. And I guess he's gonna sell that Camaro now. I don't know, just trade it in for whatever. But now I got that Chevy SS, and he put he did a lot of work to it, which I didn't think about that. I don't know if it's more than I can handle. I think it's pretty fucking
It's
fast.
strong. It's fast as shit.
But like I go pick up my son from school and she's like, it's pretty, yeah.
Yeah, that's sick. My dad was real into collecting like old muscle cars. Yeah, it was like a phase. He gets like real into stuff and whatever. But yeah, my first car when I was growing up, I would drive like a '72 Chevelle. I think.
Why do
it
you
was.
say it's like a phase? Why do you keep hating on your dad?
I'm not hating on him. This is what he does. He gets in.
like, "Pff, my dad's late. He has saddles and
Dude,
he
I'm
goes
just-
through phases.
He's the man, dude. For real. I mean, having to be in, he's like 60 something, just ripping on a motorcycle with his windshield. It's totally
That is pretty
respectable.
sick, yeah.
But I would say the same thing. I'm like, bro, get a fucking bike, bro. We're all dog. We have our family's very. We like to fuck around with each other.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, he's a fucking beast. But he used to collect old cars. The same thing, like restore them, all that stuff. So my first car that I got to drive in high school was like a '72 Chevelle.
Damn.
It wasn't whatchamacallit. You had to like, what's that called? It's not fuel injected, so I had to like goose the gas pedal in the morning
It's
and just like,
carbureted.
yeah, you had to sit there and just kind of like hit the thing down. But that thing fucking, I don't know why he let me drive that. I think like if you literally hit the gas all the way down, it would go and like peel out.
Oh shit.
It was
It's
sick.
like one of those things.
Yeah, I fucking crashed like pretty quickly. Like,
You crashed
low
it?
stakes, low. Like I was
Oh,
pulling
okay.
up to my cousin's driveway to pick him up, and my screen was just like the screen, fucking the windshield was foggy, and I just crashed into his. I like ran into his dad's car on accident. So I couldn't see.
I've only been in like one or two. I don't even know if you can call them wrecks, like fender benders. When I was 12, my grandma had a Jeep Liberty, and I took off in it. I wanted to buy like a video game. I had saved up money. I had like 90 something bucks saved up, and I took my buddy with me. We went to a GameStop. I was like, "You be my second set of eyes," And we're both just like adrenaline pumping.
Dude, it's so scary when you're little driving a car when you're not supposed to.
Yeah, my grandma was just asleep at home.
Crashed it.
They couldn't sell me the video game because it was like you need an adult there. So I was like,
She's like,
"Fuck."
I gotta drive home now.
Yeah. So we got in the car and I'm trying to like exit the parking lot onto the main road, but there's a lot of cars coming in, and the front of the car was like sticking out too far. So I got scared and I just like slammed it into reverse, and I slammed into this dude's Dodge Ram, and it was this big old white dude, and he just looked kind of like surprised to see this little 12-year-old come out, right?
Yeah.
And he's just like, "What the hell, man?" He's like, "You have insurance?" And like, "You have parents?" And I was just like, "Man, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Like, I don't know how insurance works. This is my grandma's Jeep. I don't think she has insurance. Like, she doesn't know English. So like, I don't know if she even did all that." I was like, I know body work must be like expensive because I dented his bumper in or whatever. I was just like pleading with him. I was like, "Look, man," I was like, "This is like $98 and it's all my money like ever. Like,
Just take it.
yeah." And he's just like, "Just get out of here, man." But that's crazy.
That was nice of him.
Yeah, it was, but at the same time, it's like your punishment is like just see if you can make it home. Like 12-year-old.
Yeah, but he took your $98.
Yeah, he took the money. He was like, "Just get out of here, man." But man, yeah, I was just like, all right, fuck it. And
Did you fuck the Liberty up?
nah, bro, my grandma like never found out about that. I got bagged before she woke up from her nap.
That's not bad. So you never been in like a real car wreck, like airbags deployed and all that shit? I've gotten one before. It sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lady just ran the stop sign, and just fucking nailed me.
Damn.
Yeah, she had no insurance. Airbag. There was airbags.
You got nailed by a lady. Nice.
I did, bro.
Hell yeah.
Cheers, bro. Only the best. Only the most alpha.
How old was the lady?
Yeah, in her early 20s.
Early 20s?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, you got nailed by a chick. By a
It
girl.
was a chick, and she tried to get. She didn't have insurance, so.
She tried to blame you?
Oh yeah, she tried to come out. She was like holding her neck, like she was going to sue me. I'm like, dude, you ran your stop sign, and once she figured it, I like showed her, like, no, look, like you fucked up. She thought she was going to get paid, and I
You
was
just
like,
did like one of these, like a flinch.
dude, I got like knocked out when I came to. I saw the car, and I was like, I got to get that lady's license plate. So I went up and I put it in my phone or whatever, and then like she came out like rolling on the ground, like, I'm calling my lawyer, and I was like,
she had
dickhead, you're at fault, and she like literally got instantly better and was like, oh shit, and then like we were sitting there, and then eventually she like peeled off and took off, but I already had the plate, so.
Wait, so she tried to just take off before you? Damn.
Yeah.
What's her problem?
Just being a jerk,
Damn.
being a fucking asshole.
But you tracked her down?
Mhm.
She did her
No,
insurance
wait, she
pay
didn't
for
have
it?
nothing. She didn't have anything. So it was kind of like she didn't have insurance. I had like the weakest.
You took the
shittiest
loss?
insurance.
You just straight up took the loss?
Took the L. There was
What?
nothing to be had. She didn't have insurance. She
How
didn't
long
have
ago
any
was
money.
this?
Probably like 5-6 years ago. I got like a for real like brain injury. Like I was knocked out and I didn't sleep for like 4 days after that, but I wasn't tired.
Bro, where was this?
Philly.
In Philly?
Yeah.
Bro, let's go find this broad.
So it's illegal to search people's addresses through their insurance.
I thought you were going to say it was illegal to say broad.
No, you can say broad. It's
Okay.
illegal to search. If
It's
you take
illegal to
someone's
search a
license
broad's
plate.
address?
Yeah, if you take someone's license plate and get their address from it, you're not technically not supposed to do that. But I was able to do that, and then we just like we pulled up and like saw the situation. And it was like there's nothing to be had here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is like, is it like The House? Like, was that movie The Fighter with Mark Wahlberg? You ever see that movie?
I seen it. Yeah,
And he has like all the sisters. I just feel like one of the sisters hit you. She's like, Ma!
it was a lady and her mom, and the mom like came out and like like the lady's not here, and then it was a big thing. But she did she did go eventually, and I told her I was like I'm not pressing charges, but she went and eventually like took ownership. And she didn't get like a hit and run,
No.
but there was just financially nothing to do. If I could have sued her if I wanted to, but it's like I'm not gonna sue like a super poor lady.
Yeah.
Be like, now you got to get. I'm gonna garnish her like Wendy's paycheck for 40 years. Like I'm not.
Free Frosties. You should have just told her free Frosties or free desserts from wherever the bum fuck you work at for the rest of your life.
True, pull up and, as a reminder.
Hell yeah.
Nah, I'm not like that, bro. I'm a nice guy.
You-
I know you've been trying to take me down this whole time, but I'm actually a really nice guy who like loves my dad.
I know you're nice, bro. I just think you got some issues.
I do.
Yeah.
I do have some issues.
Saw one too many shirtless people growing up.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Think of a time recently when you didn't feel like you could be your full self, like you were hiding behind a mask. October is the season, the spookiest season for wearing masks and costumes. But some of us feel like we wear a mask and hide more often than we want to. At work, in social settings, or even around our family, therapy can help you learn to accept all parts of yourself so you can take off the mask. Because masks should be used for Halloween fun, not our emotions. I mean, what a beautiful message. We all got to take off our Halloween masks. Or maybe I really am Jason. If you're if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapist at any time for no additional charge. Take off the mask with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/MSSP today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/MSSP. You know what we all need to get more of? Off our ass. With bold new flavors and a refreshing citrus kick, Mountain Dew will get you off your ass and have you feeling like you're on an actual mountain. A mountain where the weather is always perfect, your friends are ready to hang, and a day of epic proportion awaits. All right, call out my favorite flavor. Voltage. I'll go with Voltage. I like a nice Voltage flavored beverage. Talk about what game/activity you'd play with friends. I don't know, Sean. What did you think? What do you think we would do if we had if we had like an ice cold Voltage flavored Mountain Dew? Do you think we would maybe kiss forever? Nice. The mountain is calling. You should answer. Grab your friends. Grab an ice cold Mountain Dew wherever refreshing beverages are sold, and do the do. If you know that's what you're up to. Do the do. Thank you. Is this in shot, by the way? Yes, it was. All right, good. Hey guys, huge announcement here. This weekend I will be in Milwaukee. I hope I spelled that correctly. That's off memory. I'll be there this weekend, Thursday through Saturday. This weekend. The dates would be the 24th through the 26th. If I'm not mistaken, please come out to that. I'm begging you guys. Ticket sales look okay. I'm not mad at them. But let's try to bump them up if you guys can. If you can't, I totally understand. I would never bother you. 11:15, Tysons, Virginia, Capital One Hall. I think that's close to Washington, D.C. No knock on Tysons, Virginia. I'm just saying, if you guys want to kind of come in from there, I don't think the commute would be too bad. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's far. Just check it out. Also, 11:16, New York, as part of the New York Comedy Festival at Town Hall. I'll be there for a night, so come to that. And also, here's the big one, 11:29 to 11:30, I'll be in Irvine, California at the Irvine Improv. Come on out. What do you say? Why wouldn't you? Matilda! Dude, I can't believe you never saw a shirtless construction worker. That's crazy. Did you work construction?
Yeah.
You never saw, what was your like field of construction?
I was on the electrical side.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did electrical before.
Yeah.
What'd you do? Like, were you like a helper? Or did you run it, or like what was your
Yeah. Nah, I was not running shit.
outlets and shit? That's what I did.
Yeah,
I did
like
outlets.
I just have to like watch out for the what do they call it? The track hose when they like dig and stuff.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of like underground
You're doing like the services and shit?
pipe. Yeah, we were like working like at factories and installing big machinery.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty industrial, bro.
Yeah, I was doing
Yeah.
like houses and shit.
Nah, okay.
I was
you
doing
see-
like outlets and stuff.
Okay, you see what I'm talking about here though? It's like
So you're in an industry. You can in residential. It was anything goes.
I don't feel like that's true either though. You can't just go to someone's house and take off your clothes, bro.
If it's a
Working
shell,
there.
no one's there. It's a brand new house. Talking new construction, old construction.
Okay,
New construction, no shirt, no problem.
maybe that's how things go in Philly.
True. Here, the construction guys look like fucking Fallout characters. They have like
We got the
a mask all over,
the
sleeves
OPs
on.
and shit.
Yeah, it's
bro.
crazy. They look like fucking creative players in Fortnite.
Yeah, bro, because we have a structure in good old Texas. All right, we
It's not a free for all.
bro. Yeah, isn't it Philly where crime runs rampant
True.
and men are just twerking off the walls?
When's the last time? Have you been in Philly recently?
Yeah, I went not recently. It was already like, you know, when it was during WrestleMania.
Okay, yeah, that was relatively recent. If
I saw that guy Drewski there.
Did you really?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Drewski, but he didn't want nothing to do with me.
What the
Which is
fuck?
understandable because like the situation.
What's the situation? What are you talking
I guess
about?
we were staying at the same hotel,
Gotcha.
and I was leaving the hotel around like 3 or 4 a.m. to go to the airport. And as I'm getting in the car, my buddy was like, "Yo, that's Drewski." He's like walking towards the hotel, and I just yelled from like the other side of the street, like, "Drewski, let me get a picture."
You wouldn't do it?
His security just looked around like, "Who yelled that?" And they just like zoomed into the hotel.
Yeah, true.
Well, so that's why I'm like, all right, I understand that. Like,
Yeah, that makes sense.
probably thought it was like some drunk, crazy fan.
Yeah, true. He didn't know it was two young kings in passing.
Yeah. But
You should hit him up. Re-hit him up. Like, dude, that was me who screamed at you, and I'd still like that picture. if we
I
ever
don't think he's
crossed
gonna
paths.
open that.
You don't think
DM.
so?
Nah.
True.
I don't
It
think
is
he's
funny
gonna-
to see who you can, like, who will actually respond to you. Because like, you're pretty big in comedy. You get around, so it's like, have you like tried to reach out to like famous people to see if they'll honor it, or like, how do you go about that?
Man, I rarely reach out to like a famous person. But if they reach out to me, I'm just like, hell yeah, we're friends now.
Yes. Yeah, it is cool. It's a cool feeling.
Me and Paul Wall, we talk.
That's tight.
Yeah.
He's a businessman too now. He's like all cleaned up.
Yeah, he got the comb over now.
Really?
Yeah, that guy's different.
Well, as a white rapper, you have to eventually. Is like if you get too old and you still look the way you did when you're 20, it doesn't age well.
Eminem
know what I
never
mean?
did a comb over, but he did grow a beard.
He had to switch it up because it's like if he was fucking 50 with blonde hair, dyed blonde hair, it just starts to look kind of like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
people don't think about it. White rappers do have to go through a lot, man.
White rappers, they gotta like, and then I don't know. Did you ever watch that guy? Did you see that guy? His name was Lil White. Did you see him
Yeah, I actually have. Yeah,
from Memphis?
yeah, I remember that guy. I can't picture what he looks like, but I have definitely seen him.
I don't know where he's at now, but that's one white rapper that I'm like, why didn't he like? I don't know. He should have been more popular than he was. He was white, but he was like,
Oh yeah,
different.
yeah. You know what, man? He kind of looked a lot like who was that other guy?
He looks like he owns a strip club in that one picture.
He does, dude.
I wonder what,
See, look, that's him now.
I wonder what happened to him.
He kind of cleaned it. He went like full Conor McGregor, like neck tat, kind of businessman looking. Yeah, that there was another guy. Oh my God, who's the Riff Raff? He kind of reminds me a little
yeah.
bit of Riff Raff, a little bit, I guess.
People shit on Riff Raff a lot, but man, you ever heard that song "Time" by Riff Raff? Look up that song on YouTube.
I like Riff Raff.
The video. Bro, that song, it'll make you cry.
Really?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, they can do it to you.
It's-
Crying to a Riff Raff song would be crazy. Did it really get you? It made you cry?
I mean, not me, because I'm a man.
True that, yeah.
But-
No, they could get me. I could see that.
Bro,
That like Riff Raff for real was like a bona fide. He was like a sick celebrity. He was like a cool dude.
yeah, he had those weird chompers, those fucking,
He had the X Factor.
yeah.
Wasn't he in the movie Spring Break?
Oh, I don't know,
I think
maybe.
he played in like Harmony Korine did this movie, and he played like a drug dealer, and he was a good actor too.
I never watched that movie, but that's the one where James Franco sucks the gun, right? He puts the gun in his mouth.
Dude, I'm the worst with. I see movies. Yes, he wasn't.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm thinking that might have been the one. Oh fuck, that
Or-
was Franco in the
Or were
movie.
they just like basing it off of him?
I don't know. Maybe Franco and Riff Raff were in that movie because I forgot. If I was Franco, I'm thinking Riff Raff played that character.
Fuck that, bro. Riff Raff should sue them. He should sue Franco for
He literally
trying to beat him.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I guess Franco did suck a gun in that movie. I probably like walked out during that. I was probably like, I'm not fucking watching this bullshit. Fuck this shit, dude.
Everybody's saying they walked out of Joker.
I heard the Joker gets raped, right? Isn't that like
What?
someone said like there's a 3-man on 1-man rape scene?
Why? Why
I
did they do all that?
I don't know why they did that.
I'm gonna be honest, and damn,
Yeah, that's fucked up. They took that. The first, did you like the first one?
I like the first one, but maybe this is me just having a little bit of that like toxic Texas mentality. But when I saw that the movie was called Joker A Folier or some shit like that, I was like, this is gonna be so gay.
When they had the French shit?
Yeah, I was like,
You don't have to apologize for that instinct. Why do you keep apologizing for having just like a
if
proper
people-
masculine instinct? Like,
people get mad at shit like that.
Who though?
I don't know, on the internet, you know.
I don't got to worry about them.
All right,
People get mad all the time, dude.
I saw.
But I hear what you're saying. But you can say, it is a correct instinct to see a French title and be like, this might be kind of gay.
I was
all.
like, why would they do that?
Yeah, that sucks. What is the title of it again? Like John Babylon?
Je ne sais quoi.
Oh, he does the Joker gets gang raped by prison guards in Joker 2.
After he called out the abuser, so now they made Joker a victim. You know.
Well, I said, very glad I will never watch this movie fully. They ruined the first movie's legacy. How about that?
Yeah.
How would you take that, scriptwriter? That's crazy too. To be like, we're gonna start this off with a prison gang
Bro,
rape.
whoever wrote that review, fuck them too.
I know.
because they're just like they ruined the first It's just sucking the dick of the first movie.
To say the legacy too.
Calm down, bro. The first one was just a good movie. Like, it's fine, you know? Like,
That's just the legacy. Imagine looking at it, thinking about movies' legacies.
I just think it's crazy to think there's like a legacy like on Max. Like, you want to see my legacy? Sure. You have an account? It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that would. I always think. Do you ever think about like the world of very serious men?
Yeah.
It's kind of that's what they're up to. If you're not funny, you're like thinking about movies' legacies. You're like they've tarnished the reputation for all time. This movie will
Bro,
never.
people who write movie reviews.
Yeah, dude.
I took my son to watch Inside Out 2.
Great movie too. By
I
the
thought
way.
that movie
Did
was
make you cry?
hilarious. They didn't make me cry, but it made me laugh a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I love that movie.
It was good.
And I saw this one post on Instagram randomly where somebody was just talking shit about the movie, and they did it such in an educated movie critic way, and I'm just like, dude, suck a dick.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
What's your problem? This is just a funny cartoon movie.
That movie helped me. I watched it and I was like, yeah, dude, I do got to take it easy and just start going like a little like when she, I don't want to spoil it, but when she has that ending skating scene.
Yeah, no,
when
let's
she's
spoil
like
it. Let's
peaceful.
spoil
When she
it.
was peaceful at the very
People
end.
have seen it by now.
True, dude. That movie for real. Like for 3 days, I felt like I was like tapped into that state that I watched that girl.
When she was like, you're
Effortlessly.
not good enough. You're not good enough.
Yeah, dude.
But when I saw that she stopped caring if she was good enough or not, I'm like, she's never gonna be anything in life.
You don't think so? You think she's gonna settle?
She's gonna be a fucking loser.
I didn't think about that.
Probably a housewife or something.
Yeah, just settle.
Not that housewife is bad, but I bet you she's not gonna have like a successful man.
Yeah, she won't be. You don't think she'll have a successful man, or she won't be slamming other ladies into the boards on the hockey rink?
She's gonna play like fucking what do you call it? Like recreational hockey.
Yeah, give it
Yeah,
up.
as long as she keeps up that mentality,
True. She probably got knocked up.
bro. You can't be a champion in life and take care of your mental health.
True.
This is stupid.
You got to just grind yourself into a pulp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I go back and forth on whether or not that's the case. I'm like, or you could come from like a supreme perspective, like Rick Rubin, just like totally chill.
You think Rick Rubin's not fucked in the head right now?
I think he's chill. I don't know. He's wrote a whole book about how chill he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think he's like secretly freaking out?
That guy has demons somewhere, bro.
Yeah,
Doesn't
true.
he just walk barefoot everywhere?
Yeah, and like he like lives according to like different weather patterns. He just moves like 6 times. You're right. You got to be crazy to move.
Well,
around
I'll,
like
I'll
that.
tell you what. That's probably what keeps him sane, though. If
Yeah.
anything, is he doesn't ever shave or get a haircut, and he just goes where the weather's comfortable.
Yeah,
He never once just wakes up and has to do something outside. He's just like fucking hot as shit out here.
Yeah.
And he's just barefoot.
and he's just a vibe man. He gets paid to like sit in on albums and be like, "How you feeling, bro?" And people like apparently he's a fantastic producer.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. The guy's like a musical genius.
I had the same instinct as you. I was like, full of shit. The guy, nobody's that chill. It's all bullshit. Then I read his book and I'm like, damn, this guy might be that chill.
Nah, I read the first chapter of his book, and I was just like, nah, fuck this guy.
I can see that.
Wait, what are you trying to teach me here? How to
Be
do-
open to the creative impulse of the universe, dude.
I guess.
You don't want to hear that. Where do you think you get your ideas from? Do you think you spawn them yourself or they just dawn on you from out of nowhere?
My ass.
You're a pretty prolific dude, man. You come out with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty sick.
He's got a cool ass.
Comes right out of your ass.
I fart a lot.
It's nice.
I'll say this. I do respect Rick Rubin's whole like this is how you stay creative thing.
Mhm.
But the thing I didn't like about his book, and maybe I should have read more of the book because it's not fair to like judge off of the first.
I
few
mean, you didn't
pages.
judge it by the cover. The cover is pretty kind of, I would say, minimalistic and kind of cool. You didn't judge it by the
I
cover.
do like the cover.
You judge by the intro.
He starts off with a quote.
Yeah,
I
what
don't
was the
remember.
quote?
I don't
forget
remember
too.
the person who says it, which I should because I do love that quote. But it's like it's something along the lines of like the objective is not to create art, but to be in that wonderful state of mind in which art is inevitable.
Yeah,
And
I like that too.
I don't necessarily think of like writing jokes as like an art. 'Cause I feel
Yeah.
like it's kind of gay to say that.
It is.
But I do feel like I get what they mean. Where like if I'm just in that state of mind where like funny just kind of flows, like funny thoughts, like
Yeah.
I get that, you know?
Yeah, I get the same way. If I'm like too crabby or caught up with all the bullshit, it's like it doesn't come. If I can stay kind of like chill somehow, or like just like keep a humorous outlook on life rather than being like I gotta fucking sell tickets, like
Yeah.
that whatever that's happening. I'm not tuned in, so I get it. But it is also very gay to be like my art. So I do appreciate that too. To be like, nah, dude, I just go and it's
I think that's why the rest of the book was just like I couldn't keep reading because if the whole point of the book was to get me to like get me into a creative space, I was like, well, the quote was enough.
True.
It wasn't even his quote. If somebody else said that, and the rest of the book is just him being like, imagine you're like a blade of grass.
Ruben would probably be like, good. I'm glad you just read the quote. Sometimes that's all we need.
That's cool too. I'm sure he's a cool guy.
But that is, yeah, a lot of it is that very Zen kind of like, you know, like a blade of grass grows, and if you watch it,
I'm also not a
imagine-
big fan of hippies though, so I feel like if, I probably would avoid that guy. Like if me and him were like in the room and I'm hungry, I'll be like, put some fucking shoes on so I can eat. Bro.
Yeah,
Like,
you'd be pissed off. Yeah.
yeah, I'll be like fucking.
I'm the same way. I love hippie philosophy, but the reality of hippies, when I come around them, I'm kind of like,
Sometimes they smell.
yeah, they smell. They're they're backstabbers, bro. They
Yeah.
preach this big thing when it comes down to like the hippie life is a lot of it is just following bands. And it's hard because you can't have a job and follow a band. So they do a lot of like kind of, you know, like selling this or that or whatever.
Oh yeah, I saw that South Park episode.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah, you remember that one where they do like a Woodstock thing?
Oh, when was that?
That was a while back. I was a kid.
What did they cover on that one? I don't remember.
So like all these hippies are starting to come into South Park and they get into like the kids' minds where they're just like the corporations are evil, man. Like we're gonna take them down.
I remember, yeah.
And then they do the big Woodstock thing, and the kids are there like, all right, like when do we start taking down the corporations? It's like when they see this music festival, like they're really
Yep.
gonna fucking have it, you know?
Yeah.
And Cartman was the only voice of reason in that episode because he's the one that's like a hippie
He
exterminator.
always hated the hippies.
Yeah.
Dude, I've had like firsthand experience with them, and they're like very behind that whole like facade of like, yeah, man. It's like they're fucking like very self-serving and like very shitty towards one another.
Yeah.
They'll like stab each other in the back just to be able to like follow a band for 6 months, and like they'll like steal each other's like connects and all this stuff. It's like fucking being a hippie's like ruthless, man.
I don't know. Now it sounds kind of cool. I kind of want to be like a road hippie, just
They're dude, evil hippies.
survival of the
They're
fittest.
fucking evil hippies, dude. They'll like come into a town, be kind of transient, set up shop, start selling like a bunch of weed at festivals, and you can kind of it's like a whole economy of itself.
Now I'm just really afraid that people are going to hear me on this podcast and be like, yeah, this guy's fucking Republican.
Why, dude? It's inevitable. You're a man. If you get older, you're going to become Republican.
You think so?
Yeah, dude.
All right, but I'm going to be like closeted Republican.
That's okay. If you
I'm
do
never
it-
going to act on it.
Yeah, don't act on it.
I'm
Just
never
keep it
gonna-
to yourself.
Yeah.
Do you want to be Dem, or you just don't want to be either? You want to be apolitical?
Was that what it's called when you don't do either?
Yeah, just be fucking like well, the women. If you can get some pussy being Dem. If you're like, yeah, dude, I fucking love the Democrats. I feel like you get more pussy that way.
You think so? Maybe for white guys.
Maybe so for white guys because
Yeah.
it's like I also feel like at their core, women want a strong conservative man.
I hang out with strippers, bro. They just care about money.
True, they're also pretty fucking
Yeah,
apolitical.
they don't
as well.
care who I
Yeah,
vote
true.
for.
They don't care. Have you dated a stripper for real?
I've never dated, but we
You
hang
chill.
out.
Yeah, you chill.
Yeah.
Do the night thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't really care. I used to love going to strip clubs early, like on a Sunday afternoon, and like just because there's no one else is in there, you can really chat them up.
Yeah.
That's a good time to go.
You think so? I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
They're not that busy.
I'm learning a lot about you and myself during this podcast.
You never went like in the afternoon and just chilled?
Mm-mm. If the
It's-
sunlight is out, I don't want to go.
Oh, dude, it's the best.
I don't want to go to the strip club unless I'm already drunk.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I would drink a little bit, but you go, dude. I'm telling you, try this, dude. Go in there with your friends. Sunday afternoon, quiet time. They're not as like business mode. It's them. They're chilling. You can like really just like have a good time.
Oh.
So I've went on a date with the stripper before.
Yeah.
I think she was honestly between us. I think she was just trying to take money from me. But it was like, yeah, it was pretty bad. It wasn't all I thought it would be. I thought it'd be more glamorous, like dating a stripper, but she had like an infant there with her when I showed up at her house.
What?
Yeah,
Dang.
yeah, we
No.
made out. So
No, it's very humbling. It's more humbling than you would think.
it is humbling, dude.
But I do like just kind of like partying and hanging out with just women of the nightlife,
You like that?
bottle girls, bartenders, you know,
Yeah.
strippers, whatever. Like, because those are the girls that like just want to have fun and they're not expecting you to like go on real dates.
True.
But I did meet one, and I won't say in which city because then I feel like she's gonna know I'm talking about her and she'll
Sure.
probably get her feelings hurt. I did meet one that I do feel like she was very much like I was her ticket out.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm your ticket out, you're not doing so good. Like you're like pretty down in the dumps, you know?
You're doing well. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I just feel like there's so many better ticket outs. You know?
Yeah.
But
But you felt that pressure.
yeah.
See, I would cave instantly. I'm such a simp, dude. I'd be like, come on, I'll make an honest woman out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know myself. I'm old enough now where I know myself.
I think before when I first started getting attention from women due to success, I was a little bit like that. I was just like, yeah, but I wouldn't really do it, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
But now I'm at a point where like I can be honest. I'm be like, nah, don't expect me to be very righteous.
True.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty shitty.
That probably turns them on though. When you're telling them you're not righteous, they're probably like, damn,
Yeah.
it's tight. Telling a lady like I'm not righteous.
Why
What,
don't
what are you gonna do though? So are you gonna like try to find a? Are you just gonna keep messing around with women of the night, or are you gonna try to find like?
I think I'll find like
on.
a girlfriend eventually.
True.
But I'm never gonna get married.
Yeah,
I don't think I could do that.
yeah.
This is kind of like a little weird to me, and like I don't want to legally bind myself to a person.
Yeah,
I'm just afraid of legal stuff, paperwork.
I've done it twice.
You did it twice.
Yeah, I've been married, divorced, and now married again. 2 kids.
Okay, well that's good though. It worked out the
pretty-
second time.
Yeah, it's going. But it's like it's pretty. I kind of agree. It is a weird. if you like, I've heard of this before. If you look at the legal agreement of marriage, it's the worst deal ever, really. But at the same time, it's like the saying, like, would you ever sign up with something like, yo, if we stop talking, you're going to take half the matter. It's like legally, it's a bad deal for a man.
It's like, if I love somebody, why do we have to split shit 50-50 if it doesn't work out?
Yeah, I think it's just set up for like, it's kind of like in a, so that women can't get like basically abused, like knocked up, not like hit, but like knocked up. Because rearing a child for a person is like a serious thing. So it's like they should be entitled. I think they should be entitled to something for the rest of your life.
All right.
Like if that's, dude, you
I agree with that part.
Yeah, but I hear what you're saying though. But like 50% of everything, it's like that should be kind of up to your discretion.
Also, I don't think there should be like legalities behind it. But
Yeah, but
I
it's
guess
because of bad actors. Then you get guys that go in and just knock chicks up,
yeah,
and then
that's
it's
true
like
too.
you're not taking care of it at all. So it's like you
My-
need to have something.
My son's mom, we get along very well, and I'm always gonna like do what I can to make sure like they're both good. But I guess I could see like if I was just being such like real shitty to her, like I could see how like the legalities of it could help her out.
Yeah, you're like a good dude. You're not like there's dudes out there that are just like for real, like
It's because I've been,
unconscious. Like they'll just do. I had friends that'd be like, would just blow loads and chicks, not even.
don't even care.
They didn't give a fuck. Wouldn't think twice about it. And
It's because I
like,
started playing a lot of Red Dead 2.
true.
I want my honor to be high. You ever play that game?
Yeah, I have.
That game is sick.
You can go either way, dude. You can be a villain, or you so you're high honor on Red Dead.
Only because I restarted the game.
True.
Because
Did you fall? Did you have like a wicked life on Red Dead? at
Yeah, I
first?
was going bad for like I was already like to chapter 5, and like at the end of every chapter I was getting that wolf that like, you know, when you
I
like,
never made it. I've only like kind of seen the game and got like the feel for it. So
Yeah.
there's a wolf that comes after you.
yeah, like in between chapters, every time you go to the next chapter, right, the next level of the game or whatever, it either shows like an elk if you're like this honorable man,
Mhm.
or it shows like a wolf like just staring you down.
Damn.
Yeah, or I think it's like a wolf, like a black
Yeah.
wolf looking thing.
Mhm.
And I was just like, man, that's pretty sick, like that wolf thing, you know. But then I was just like, I don't know. I always thought my honor was in the middle, and then one day I checked it because I never check it, and I had like really low honor,
Damn.
and people were treating me like shit. I would say, "Howdy, mister." So people walking by and they'd be like, "You moron," and I'll fucking shoot the guy.
Yeah. I mean, what else are you gonna do? He provoked you.
So I'm trying to redo the game, but with high honor to see what the difference is. But it's hard, bro. Like
I know, man. It must be difficult.
I was riding my horse the other day, and this dude rode by with his horse. He's like, "That's a mighty fine horse you got there." He's like, "You want to race him?" So I was like, "Hell yeah, I'll race the guy." And when he got ahead of me because he fucking cheated, piece of shit. But I remember for some reason, like I guess his horse knocked him off, but I'm riding my horse full speed. So like the guy gets off his horse or falls off of it, and then like I immediately run him over, and I lost honor. And I was like, bro, that's
Was it
manslaughter.
an accident or
it was an accident.
It was
But
involuntary manslaughter.
yeah, but I still lost honor for it.
What?
Yeah, so I'm suing Rockstar.
Yeah, true, man. That's fucked up. What are you gonna have to do to like make up for it?
I don't know. I gotta probably say hi to a bunch of NPCs.
Yeah, you're gonna spend the rest of your life making up for that crime.
Hell yeah,
Damn, you didn't even try to run the guy. It's so hard to play those games and not just murder everybody.
bro.
In the game.
I accidentally. I didn't even pay attention. I rode my horse by somebody's campfire, and I just heard a
Squash
voice. No, I just heard a voice being like, "This camp ain't for. I didn't invite any visitors." And then I turned around to see like who's talking, and the guy had his gun on me. And the guy pulls your gun on you, got to shoot that guy.
Yeah, you do. You do.
That's just Texas law, baby.
Does that fuck up your honor if you're to?
Yeah, I lost honor for killing that guy at his campsite.
Look, man, none of us are gonna be perfect. You got to do what you got to do.
I think it'd be. But here's the thing, though. What the fuck, Rockstar? Like, why do you put that in the game, bro? Like, I already gotta have honor in real life, and I gotta have it in the game too. Like, I came here to escape, bro. I came here to kill old 1800s hookers.
Yeah, man. Now you got to worry about like being judged and stuff.
Yeah,
I agree. That kind of does ruin it, just to put like a moral pressure on the whole thing.
yeah. I'm just gonna go back to playing low honor mode.
Yeah. You have to. It's kind of there's something crazy about like just being a good boy in a video game. It's like,
Bro, and
you're
then
gonna snap.
no matter what, your character dies at the end. Your
True.
character gets tuberculosis in the game.
Really?
Like he's fucking Doc Holliday or something.
What?
Yeah. You're like, what the fuck? I paid so much money for this game, and
Did
I
die?
and I got disease in the game.
So you're struggling with like morality and like death.
Yeah, bro. It's
Damn.
better to just shoot everybody in that game.
Yeah, you just gotta go nuts.
You can rob people. It's pretty
Yeah,
sick. You
that's
can,
pretty tight.
You can like find card games, and I don't know. It's kind of weird hearing the NPCs talk. Like, there's like a New Orleans type city, and I feel like the voices they do for the different characters are like they were afraid to be racist, so they're like borderline.
Yeah.
Like it's like a Chinese immigrant, but
It sounds like you grew up in New York, kind of.
he like barely has like an accent.
Yeah, that's
like,
kind of bullshit, man. If
Yeah.
you're gonna do it, man.
Fucking
go all
commit,
in.
bro.
Yeah, go all in.
or like you ride your horse out and like there's like you go do missions for like some plantation owners, and I guess it's like post after the Civil War, so there's like no black workers out there.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm like, this is the South, and all these workers are white. Yeah,
Yeah, they didn't have the slaves in the game.
they didn't have no slaves. There's black people in the game, but none of them are slaves.
Freemen, yeah. We passed a cotton field recently. Me and my wife's black. We passed a cotton field going from here to like Houston. And she was like, "What is that growing?" I was like, and then eventually I was like, "It's a cotton field." She's like, "Oh."
Fucking the game should like let you. The game should be a little more accurate, but it should and I think it does on one. I don't know.
I'll do the Chinese accents if they need somebody. I'll do. I'll get.
But they should let you like fucking. I don't know. Like your mission now is like fucking kill this slave owner. I don't know.
Yeah,
some cool shit like
like
that.
Django. Yeah, you can go liberate them.
But don't give me white fucking people picking cotton. Like
were they? Oh, they're out there working. Just kind of. They had white. Maybe they had white slaves. Maybe the game's just based as hell.
I feel like now I'm gonna get like some angry Republican in my DMs. Like there was fucking white slaves too.
That's what I'm saying. You're hitting on the white slave theory, dude. Dare I say some of the Irish, bro? But no,
yeah,
I think there were a couple. I think there were a couple of white slaves, but it's one of those things where it was like not a lot. You know what I mean?
There's like a Mexican character on Red Dead, and you can walk by some Mexicans or like they're drinking in the bar, and I'm like, that's pretty accurate. I think. Yeah, it's like this drunk Mexican dude.
So but they hit the accent, but they wouldn't hit a Chinese or Asian accent.
But all the accents are like mild.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
what was like? How did the Asian guy sound?
The Asian guy was like, oh, don't go back there, sir. But
yeah, they still gave him. I know what you mean. It should have been way more. Just
I'm also bad at accents, so I don't know. I just sounded like me.
I was just trying to get you doing it.
Just sounded like me, but whispering. The guy sounded more Asian than that.
That's a harmful stereotype that Asians only whisper.
Yeah, but all right, is it offensive if you do like an Asian voice, but it's not words that you just made up? Like, how do you say it? Like if I'm quoting an already Asian accent.
Yeah, I think it's totally fair to do that.
Yeah,
and hilarious.
Because I don't know. I think it's a hilarious bit. I guess it's pretty racist. I don't know. This is what
I don't think it's racist to talk like other people talk.
Well, I mean, like the bit was probably racist.
Oh yeah.
But this is like I grew up watching Family Guy. Very little parental supervision, but there's that scene. It always makes me laugh, and it might be wrong to laugh at it. I don't know, but it makes me laugh. It's one of those Family Guy cutaways. And it's like an Asian dude going up at the Apollo to an all-black crowd. And he's just like, how everybody doing tonight? And he's like, you ever have two black guys going to your store? It's like, one go one way, one go the other. He's like, what they doing? What they stealing? Who with me? And it's like an all-black crowd. And they're just like, boo, fuck this guy.
That's hilarious, dude.
And the dude just gets pissed. Like, he's like, all of you stay out my store. I remember your face.
That's hilarious.
That's right.
It's genuinely hilarious. That's very funny.
But is it racist?
Yeah, but it's funny enough to where like, it's one of those things where it's like, if it with racial humor, if it's not funny, it sucks because then everyone's kind of like,
it's just straight up racist.
When it's funny, it's just like you're taking a thing and just kind of like elevating it to like a very funny level.
But at that point, it's like, what makes it funny? I have an idea of like what my rule is for like, does it qualify as funny?
Yeah.
But I think everybody has a different rule or whatever, like a different.
See, I think a black person watching that would be laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. If you see like a Chinese guy just doing that and like, get out of my store, it's like, I think that's funny.
I think of a joke, whether it be on TV or like in person or whatever, think of a joke. If like 50% of the people in the room hearing that joke laugh, like it's funny.
Yeah.
Like you lost, like, not that you lost the right to like say how you felt about it, but like if half the room laughs,
yeah,
you have to admit like, all right, like it's more funny than it is offensive or whatever.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah, you're making people laugh. It's a wonderful thing to laugh. So it's like, if you can take something, like that and then just turn it into something very funny that causes people joy, it's like, yeah, you should definitely do that.
Oh yeah. Right?
Yeah. But the problem with the race stuff is when people, in my opinion, when they just be like, I know people are going to get mad and I'm going to say this, and it's not funny. And it's not like a moral thing I have against it. I'm like, that just sucks. It's like, make it funny.
Yeah.
It's better when people are like, watch me say this. And it's like, cool, man.
One of my buddies didn't like South Park when we were kids because he thought it was racist towards Mexicans. But that buddy also didn't even speak Spanish. So I'm like, bro, you're not even a full Mexican here. Like, you're racist. But
yeah, South Park is so funny, man. That's
he
crazy.
didn't like when they're like they pay the illegals to write their essays.
Yeah.
And they wrote their literal like friends. They're like, oh, see, I wrote my essay. Like, but that's funny, bro. Like,
so funny.
Funny's funny. Like,
Yeah. No, if it makes you laugh, it's good. But yeah, I've recently I had like a kind of like a not like a crisis, but I started to be like, I don't know if I even like doing stand up anymore. And then like I was like I'll do it. I'll go do it on the weekend. And now I've hit a place where I'm like, yeah, I find it like absolutely essential just
Yeah.
for like my state, like my well being.
That's kind of like got to be tough too, is when you're being honest with yourself about something like that.
Yeah.
When you dedicated so much time and effort to getting good at stand up, and you go from bombing to like finally doing good, and it takes you months, years, and stuff. But then to finally be like, I don't want to. Feel like the Forrest Gump when he got tired of running. He's like, all right, like I'm tired now. I'm gonna go home now.
Well, I just having little kids, and I'm like, I don't want to be away. I can podcast and not be away from home.
Yeah.
And then I'd slow up on the stand up and get miserable. And I didn't know what was going on. I was like miserable for a couple weeks. And then I just didn't do stand up for like 3 weeks. And
It helped out.
then I did it like the last 2 nights, and I just felt like I had my pep in my step. I was like, oh, I didn't know I actually had to do that.
Did Rick Rubin tell you to do that?
No, I didn't. I never finished his book either, to be fair. To be fair, I didn't finish his book. I love it, and I love the idea of it. But yeah, after a couple chapters, you're like, yeah, I think I get the point here.
I agree though. I feel like I gotta have a balance of like I gotta spend time with my son. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I also gotta like fucking go do some stand up. But if I dive too deep into one or the other, I'll start to like fucking
Yes.
tick inside a little bit.
No, you're absolutely right, man. And it's one of those things. This is what I tell myself. It's like, because I would get guilty and be like, I should just get a fucking regular job and be here all the time. But it's like, then I'd be miserable and I'd be like mean to my kids.
I think about that too.
Yeah, it's like if I stop doing that, I'd just be a miserable fucking dickhead and just scream at them.
I do it anyway.
True, but it's like, how much more would you do it though?
I start punching my son.
Oh yeah,
I used to. My buddy moved out to New York. My buddy that I started doing comedy around the same time as him, he moved out to New York early on, and so I'd always go crash on his couch, stay out there for a few weeks, and just try to go get spots and stuff, and felt like it helped me get better. And as things started taking off for me, my son was around like the 3-4 age, and it wasn't too hard to like take off because he was living with his mom, and like I could still get my days and I can go stay in New York and just focus on stand up and whatever. But now, you know, he's 5, he's in school, and he's with me during the week. He's with me a lot more. It might have been like some months ago already. I took a trip out to New York to like try to like stay there for a couple of weeks and work on material. And I was just like, bro, fuck the material. Like,
Yeah.
I want to go be with my kid.
yeah, exactly.
I'm hanging out with like funny people, but also hanging out with people who are like just kind of like still not dads.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just had to like come to terms with like, bro, I'm a fucking dad now. Like, I just have to accept who I am.
Yeah, it is a process, dude. Especially because I feel like stand up, and I wonder if you feel this way. They're like stand up and having kids. It almost feels sometimes like diametric, like completely opposed. Where you're like, it's like,
Yeah.
but it is tough, like maintaining both of them. Because you're right though. If you do all of one, if you're like, I'm not doing any of this shit, I'm just gonna be, a dad and focus on that. You do have to do both. But yeah, that, like I try to tell people, I'm like, dude, getting away for a week is like a devastator on my kids, man. When I'm away for like the entire week, they're like, fucks them up.
Bro, my son starts acting a donkey.
Yeah, dude, dude, they get bad.
He loses respect for everybody in the house. Yeah, and
My daughters get so bad. If I'm gone for more than 3 days, they like stop listening to their mom. It's pretty bad.
yeah. And then like they don't want to admit, my family or even his mom doesn't want to admit that it's like, he misses me.
Yeah,
But it's what it is.
yeah. But you
yeah.
can't. You have to be what you are though. Because if you try to like become something totally different, have you ever tried in your life to be like, fuck stand up? I'm just gonna
Yeah.
square up and get like my regular job.
One time I like quit for like a day.
Yeah.
I had like a good amount of little opening gigs here and there, local stuff, bar shows, and just was having a really stressful time, a lot of arguments, and just one day I just called everybody who I was gonna either open for or like whatever gigs I had locally, and I just canceled all of them. It's really dramatic. Just, I was gonna quit before I even really had like a start, And
Write a Facebook post, be like, I'm no longer doing stand up anymore.
I never got that gay.
I know. But then you see people do that. They formally
Yeah.
quit stand up, and you're like, all right, man. That's
So if you, yeah, for those, if you ever wrote a Facebook post about how you're quitting stand up, you never really started stand up, bro. Like, shut the fuck up. Like,
I just like to let everybody know. It's like this.
I'm not going to open mics anymore. But yeah, I just did that for like a day. But then the next day, I was just like, I called everybody back. I was like, hey, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I quit for a day.
Yeah, I want to come back.
I tried for like months at a time, and I just would become miserable, man. I would like try to get jobs, and you feel like a fucking alien. And the longer you do stand up, like when you try to like work in an office, you just feel weird. And then it's sad because you go like, people are like, oh, you used to do stand up, and you're like, yeah.
But did you purposely choose like the saddest possible job?
It was
like,
all I could get. I couldn't get anything else. It was like I grew up doing construction, and then like I went to college, and then like I worked in an office. My dad was always like, "Get an office job. It's the shit. You're in the air conditioning." And then I got in an office, and I'm like, "This is fucked." Did you ever work in an office before?
Mm-mm.
It's fucked up, dude.
Sounds boring.
It's unbelievably boring, and it's everybody's doing nothing. I made it like I think 4 months at one internship, and then I lasted 3 weeks in another office, and that I have like a short experience with it. But dude, it's like. It's really fucked up. Everyone's doing nothing. Everyone's pretending to work. And then there's this like big hierarchy where you're getting like, I would get emails in all caps. They're like, to let them know they were mad at me. And I'd be like, the dude's like right there. And I'm like, what the fuck is
You're
your
like, yo,
problem?
you got a problem,
Yeah,
Joe?
for real. I'd be like, what the fuck is your But I did, I was at an office and there was a guy, he was like a high up partner. And he like, there was like this big dramatic thing where he broke away from like his other partners in this office. And his name was like Marissimo. He had like some name. That was just like I had to go to his Google email and delete. I think it was illegal. I think they wanted to delete proof of like something that they had. So I had to delete shit out of his email. But then I pulled up his Google chat and I was like chatting up other people from the office as him. And my boss found out and sent me an email. I was like, I hit up my I had like the big boss and I had like my direct boss. And I hit him up. I'm like, what are you doing? He'd be like, hey, what's up, Marissimo? I'm like, bro, I got a bottle in my room. I'm kind of lonely if you want to chill. And then he thought it was funny. He told me like, yo, hit up this guy, hit up that guy. And then eventually my like the boss of the bosses found out and sent me the all caps. Like, do not use chat feature while using Marissimo. It's fucked up, man. It's like there was a guy in there who would be like, I'm not going to talk to any of you unless you close a deal. And he would walk in he came in only once a week from New York.
He wasn't going to talk to
He
you
wouldn't talk to you or acknowledge your presence.
unless you close the deal.
Unless you close the deal. So if you said
So
like,
you were rewarded with his presence?
he sucked too. Yeah, he was such a dickhead. So like he would come in and like the guy next to me was like, dude, I just want to like make a good impression and talk to him. And his sister also worked there. She was also like one of our bosses. And she was like, I can get like you like a face to face if you want. And the dude set it up, dude, through his sister. And the guy came into our office like, hey man, how you doing? It was dude,
It's
it was
just like a shitty meet and greet.
yeah, dude, it was awkward. It was really fucking awkward. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, office life, I have like a serious thing against it. And I think it like for real gives people brain damage.
I never took advantage of like the, I guess, jobs I could have had.
Mhm.
I always went to like work with illegals.
Yeah.
I had my first job when I was 12 at like, I was a dishwasher. My buddy's family had a restaurant. That dude over there.
Oh, nice.
And so we're just washing dishes and with his uncles and like working in the kitchen, you know?
Yep.
So then I did that or I'd go, my dad had a couple different businesses. He had a body shop. So I'd go stand cars in the
Nice.
shop where there was no like code
Yeah, you can
requirements
do whatever the
being
fuck you
met.
want.
Yeah.
There's like pictures of naked ladies in mechanic shops. It's
There
like
was-
that
oh, a
far
lot
off.
of- yeah.
Dude, it's like that far off. Then you go to an office and you're like, you think you can talk pussy with someone at work? Because that's how it is in construction. If you get pussy, you tell everyone. So I would go in and like tell my office mate, like, I got pussy last night. And then the lady who was like the boss would be like, you can't talk like that.
All caps email coming your
All
way.
caps email cooking one up, being like, you are not allowed to refrain from referring to the activities prior to the night.
Bro,
You're like,
but
dude.
I grew up around these types of jobs. So by the time I was of like working age, like 16, and I went to work at McDonald's, even that was too corporate for me.
Yeah.
They're like, I got to like talk to the fucking customers. I was like, can I just wash the dishes? And they're like, no, you're not old enough to do that. I'm like, you'd be
I'm
surprised.
out. Yeah, true. Yeah, I've been doing this from a young age. Yeah, it does. Working construction does kind of throw you off for the rest of the job market. Like I saw my dad, or not, it wasn't my dad. It was someone. It was like one of my uncles. Like, actually, I didn't see this. I was there. They had a guard dog, and the dog tried to bite me and a couple other customers. It was like a big trash yard.
Oh shit.
And I came in like, you go to work. Like I'd go to work with my dad. Like, another Saturday, like months later, would pop up, and I get to go. And I was like, "Where's the dog?" And he's like, "We shot it." They like shot the dog. They just killed it.
Yeah. That's,
Like, you tell people that, and they're kind of like, "That's fucked." And
we
I'm
were like, that's how we did all caps emails in
That's
my,
how- yeah,
where I come from, baby.
my uncle shot the dog. He just like took it in the back. It was like, poof.
Damn,
People
dude.
were like, that's fucked up. I'm like, it was trying to bite. No, try to bite me. I was a child.
But also working in those types of settings where like I'm just me and a bunch of Mexican dudes. I think if I hadn't heard this, I maybe would have just been stuck there and never taken advantage of the fact that I was like born in the States and like have an education. But I was working at a body shop and this dude one time, I was maybe like 20, and one of the dudes told me in Spanish, he's just like, he's like, hey man, you don't have papers? I was like, nah, yeah, I was born here. And he was just like, oh, he's like, but you didn't finish school? I said, yeah, I finished school. I have a diploma.
Yeah.
I was like, I even got a semester of community college, you know? Like,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, he's like, then why do you work here?
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh shit, like this dude's trying to tell me something here, like,
Mhm.
you know, because I think that guy had kids around my age, And I remember going to one of theirs like graduation party, and he was also telling me about that. He's just like, like you could do more stuff.
Yeah.
Like English, you're educated, like fucking do stuff.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how my dad always was too. He was like, don't, because when you're younger, you get hooked to the money of like kind of like construction or like auto body, because you do get paid more than you would anywhere else as a young kid. That I always have people like, don't get hooked to the money, man. Just like, 'cause eventually your body gets all fucked up.
I feel like I would get hooked to the hang.
The hang is sick, dude. The hang's so good.
I just liked working in places where like I got along with the people.
The hang's too good. And there's also, dude, you just meet characters too. Like there's not a lot of, in an office, it's really, there's not a lot of like characters in an office where you're like, damn, this is like the funniest dude I've ever met. It's like when you're on like a construction site, like an auto body shop.
If you're
they're hilarious.
Yeah, if you're the funny guy in an office, you must be like pretty funny. But work somewhere where like you can get dirty and like really fuck around,
It's unbelievable.
Hold like a old piece of like pipe and act like it's your dick. You know what I mean? You can't do that in an office.
Or like I see people fist fight in like a construction job.
Yeah.
Boss would be like, knock it the fuck off, and you two shake hands, and it was just like, are you right back to work?
This is gonna sound like a little weird, but hanging out with like these racist country dudes at the construction job I had, and I only had this job for about maybe 6 months, and these guys would say some pretty racist shit.
Yeah,
but never to me or like my Mexicans that I worked with. Like it was weird being around people who were like racist but still like respectful. And at first I'm like, bro, what's their fucking problem? I don't want to work with dudes, man. Fuck them. Like I'm not gonna be able to. But it was funny.
Yeah.
Like not that the racism was funny, but these were funny dudes. One of them had like this Boomhauer thing when he'd get mad. There were these 3 brothers, and I can't remember which one was which might be racist of me, because one was Joe, one was John, and the other one was like Jim. I swear to God. And I can't remember which one this one was, but he cussed the most, and he'd get mad because we got to a job site one day where they were supposed to be digging, looking for like some line, and they couldn't find it, and it was just like the hole should have been like a few feet over to their side, so we had to start digging there, and we were working under Joe that day, and I just remember him being mad. He's like, man, I get tired of this old chicken shit bullshit, goddamn it, fucking bullshit, goddamn, man. We're just like, oh shit, Joe's mad, bro. He doing the Boomhauer thing. Another guy there, a young dude, he might have been around my age, or maybe a younger dude named Shannon, and the other dudes would get mad at him because he's like lazy, but that guy was hilarious. We were working at like a fucking like a steel some place where they have those big metal ovens. It's like metal.
Oh, like a foundry where you're like, I don't even know if that's what it's called, but you like melt the steel down.
Yeah, they're doing shit like that, right?
Damn.
So we'd go eat lunch outside, and there's all these people there, and they were really strict there. They're like, don't fuck around in front of the people who work there and all this shit. Like, and this dude Shannon would just walk by everybody with his ass out. It's just like hard hat, glasses, and he just pull his pants down and cover his dick with his hands. Like we're just like, what the fuck? And Joe's brother was this dude. I think it was John, and I might be confusing them. It might have been the other way around, but John and Joe, he didn't cuss at all. Like he would like try his best not to cuss, but it's just funny hearing him get mad at Shannon because he's just like, "What the crud? What the dude? Put your butt back in your pants." And it's like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know.
I always felt like there was a delicate ecosystem of like racism on construction sites where like everyone would kind of fuck with each other, but then if like somebody kind of crossed the line or was being like malicious, it would be like, dude, fucking get out of here. Because I would get cornered. So I was in the laborers union for a little bit, and in Philly, it's mostly so the whole to like paint the whole picture. My dad and his brothers did demolition. Then they did trash, and they started a demolition company. So in order to work for my dad, once like the union started bothering him, I had to join the union so I could work for my dad. So I was in the laborers union, but it was mostly like me and other all black guys doing that. But there was like everyone would fuck with each other. Like the white guys would say shit about this and that. But I would get like, there'd be another white laborer and he would like corner me. I guess he didn't know like I was just working for my dad, and he would like take me aside and just be like, bro, these motherfuckers are animals. He would go in like hard, and I'd be like, dude, fucking okay.
Now I remember the day I realized I was working with like some real racist dude. Because at first I'm like, they can't all be like that, right? You know, maybe like just these couple guys here. I'm just like, fuck those guys. I don't want to be around them. Mm-hmm. Somebody who was like a higher, well, I mean, everybody was higher up than me in there, but somebody who had like real, I guess like a real position, somebody who would bring us material, be in charge of job sites.
Yeah.
I don't want to say his name, but this is a nice older guy. He might even be retired by now or dead. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he was cool with me. Like, man, it'd be like fucking 100 degrees out there. And sometimes he'd be like, hey, he's like, come on, let's go to Home Depot. And out of everybody on the job site, I got to fucking take a break in the AC, just go help him carry shit. He's an old man, you know, like just help him carry shit. And then one day there was like this big lunch with like everybody from the company. We all just met up because there's like some restaurant they like to go to.
Yeah.
And we were working pretty close to it, and we all met up there. And I heard him say like some real racist shit. And I remember just thinking like, oh man, like I thought you were different.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that,
It was really bad.
yeah, it was pretty bad. I don't want to repeat it.
Yeah, that was the thing. There was like it was the same thing. Like people would joke with each other, and I'm like, oh, this is funny. And then you get a guy would corner you, and you'd be like, oh, you want to like kill these guys? I'm like, dude, you got to chill.
Yeah.
That was also a fun thing I would do when someone would get like very like corner me, be like, can't believe we're working with these fucking animals. I'd be like, dude, we should fucking kill them. They'd be like, whoa, hold on, man.
I'll do
You
this.
just go way higher. Like I do it to everyone politically when they're like Trump, they spaz on Trump. I'm like, we should kill his whole fucking family. They're like, no, I don't want to do all that. I'm like, all right, leave me the fuck out of this.
Nah, I heard them say just one too many remarks one day, so I was just like,
Yeah.
I probably don't want to work here no more.
He's probably feeling you out. He wanted to know if he can make like a proper
Yeah,
racist out of it.
I left, and I think they might have thought that like I would say something because I put in a 2 weeks notice, and they offered me a raise, like a really good raise.
Really?
They were like, come on, just
He was grooming
stay.
you, dude. He
But
wanted to-
I sucked at that job. Like,
He was grooming you to say the N word.
but it was fucked up is that they would say shit about Mexicans too here and
Oh,
there.
really?
Yeah, and that's why I was just like, bro, like this is too much. Like, if this is how you guys are gonna work up here. Like, fuck.
And he
this,
wouldn't even
bro.
look at you and be like, "Excuse me," or was he trying to like joke, or was he just
That
trying
guy,
to, like,
that guy, I never heard him say nothing about Mexicans, but a couple of other guys, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And it was fucked up because the things they said were always words towards black people,
yeah.
and that's why, like, I've been in rooms where like maybe Mexicans and black people are like, who's had it worse, and I'm always like, bro, stop. Like, black people had it way worse. Stop, don't do this. Like, I spoke.
Every group does that though. My family's all Irish, and it's like, bro, we got oppressed by the English for 800 fucking years, which is true. But yeah, they kind of take the crown. I give them the crown for
But yeah,
pain and suffering in the
when I
US.
took off, I feel like maybe that's why they tried to do that. Where they're just like, "Hey, wait, more money,
Yeah.
if you shut up." And I was like, I just don't want nothing to do with you guys.
Yeah, although I have seen some of the most vicious racism I've seen has been American black people versus African workers on the job sites. That's a serious beef.
Yeah,
Oh my god, dude! American black people and Africans are like, you think they'd be buddies, but they're like, I feel like that's like when like I'm like an American white guy. If I see like a British person, I'm like,
pussy.
the fuck is your deal? I think American black people see African people.
I think that's how like Mexicans from Mexico see like Hispanics from
exactly.
America.
Yeah, exactly.
Will never be Mexican to them.
Exactly. They're kind of like, yeah, you're from some weird ass country. We're the real deal.
Dude, me and my buddy Jaime, we would change the radio when we were kids. Like, just there's like a lot of Mexican love songs playing. We changed the radio to just like whatever, you know what I mean? Just like some pop, some hip hop, whatever. And no matter what we put it on, the other Mexican dudes would be like, like, you faggots, son jotos, son jotos. It's like, what? Like,
Just
bro,
because you want to listen to some pop?
yeah, just because I want to change the music. Like, now we're gay. Like they would get mean, bro. It'd be like,
I do respect the machismo. I think I could say pound for pound, Mexican dudes have the highest machismo, and I'm kind of for it. I think it's kind of sick.
man, but it sucks when you're the one getting like the fucking.
Yeah, it's tough. It's oppressive.
Bro.
I've worked. That they were always my favorite. If I had to pick a gang, like a group of people in a workplace, and I'm not just saying this because you're here. I think Mexican people were like my go-to. The hang is so nice.
Bro, so
Just babes on phones, be like, yo, check out this babe. I'm like, yeah, babe's nice. Check out this babe.
they get
And
mean
just
too,
fucking
though,
around
bro.
the whole time. I know they could get.
But
nasty.
now like they made me into like a mean bastard sometimes. Like when I was a kid, if I'd be like at a family party or something